We're live. Okay. Hello, friends. How you doing tonight? Right. Uh,
Hello, y'all. How you doing?
Scarborough here and Sasquatch Friends Ontario. Tom, right, with Michael Fragosso, right? Did I say it right?
Fragosso.
Fragosso. All right, Fragosso.
I need a stage name.
Yeah, you would be good at this. You know a lot of people, right? And
Yeah. Oh,
right.
yeah.
If you have your own show, and you would do good. I think you do really good. Right? You have a
You know, it's funny. About 4 years ago, I met a friend in one of the groups. It wasn't a Bigfoot group or anything like that.
right,
And she was alleged to be psychic and all this. And
right.
she says, she says, I see. She's like, can I look into your future? It's like, yeah, I'll go for it. And she says, I can see you doing YouTube, in the next few years, having your
Oh,
own channel and stuff. And I'm like, well, it's like, and now look at, I mean, I'm doing some shows with you now. That's my second show. So,
right.
um, it's kind of like, I didn't see me doing it. I don't know if I'll ever get my own channel. You get a, it's a lot of, it's time consuming, I think, at
Oh,
times, but
it is. It is. I'm telling you, I'm
I mean,
beat after time between YouTube and Facebook. It's a lot of work to to
yeah.
to carry things through. It is. It's a
And then
lot.
I'm sure there's editing involved too, right?
Oh yeah,
Y-
the
You
movie,
know,
the editing, yeah, the videos, lots of work, lots of work.
and then yeah, and then you got to worry about having your channel shut down because it's getting a little sensitive or whatever. I don't know,
That's right.
they they
Yeah,
can flip a switch on you anytime they want. You know,
yeah,
so
for sure. I know some people who had half a dozen channels because they were, you know, getting out of hand. Shut down one channel. And oh yeah, they were always in the YouTube jail and stuff like that.
hmm
Right.
yeah,
But I only have the one
yeah.
channel. We had to toe the line. I just couldn't do all those different channels. It's just too time consuming. But
Yeah, and I mean, you figure, I mean, a lot of us work full time, and
sure.
on your weekends off, I mean, if you're thinking about the next location to go to or follow up at, and then you got pics you got to edit. You're looking for this, you're looking for that. It's all time consuming, and then it's just, I mean, hours spent. I mean, in your own little world, so to speak.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You'll see something, and then you'll refer to something you saw, in a pic, say, a year ago or 2 years ago. It's like, was that 2020? So you're paging back. Then you're comparing this and that, and then you're enhancing the pic, and you're looking, and then you find similarities. You might find,
Oh
glyphs
yeah,
that look the same, or
for sure.
structures with this type of style to it. I don't know. And then you're ready for a freaking mapping project. You know what I mean? I mean,
For sure, for
yeah,
sure.
but it's been a fun, hobby,
Mhm.
if you will, a journey. You know,
I've learned
um,
a lot in the
yeah.
past,
Well,
7 years. 7 years or so researching Facebook and YouTube. The last 7 years, I learned a lot. First couple years were the learning curve. I had to learn how to,
well,
no computer
and,
skills, no filming skills. All this I had to learn
right.
everything. How to take a screenshot, everything.
Yeah,
Back then, it was
yeah,
complicated, especially when you only had a laptop or something, right? And that, and it took,
right,
right. And some laptops, you didn't have that feature. I had to press three different functions to take a screenshot at first, where
right.
eventually it came out to one button, and that's it. Push your button, and
Hope
there's
you don't mind. I got my smoothie going on.
no, I don't mind. That's great. I'm
A
gonna
little
have
bit of liquid dinner tonight.
all right.
I've needed it, but
Oh yeah,
so yeah, I mean,
that's
eventually I'm gonna get a laptop, and then I'll download all the info, and I'll put code names for the different locations. I mean, right now I'm probably looking at, uh, at least 33 locations,
Wow, that's a
and I
lot.
just like to like make a map of it. I know it's just like all of a sudden before you know it's like Christ, and then you know, all the things that you've seen along the way. It's just
Right, right.
it's just been crazy, and so I need to save a lot of that stuff so I don't ever lose it. Put it on a
What I
you
find
know
remarkable is, like Ontario here, where we are, we have like congregation of people down by Lake Ontario, and then it sparse, everything's mostly around the lake, the population,
mhm,
right?
right,
Yeah, same with Wisconsin around Superior and all that, and then further as you go out, it's less populated, right? So, but what's
right, right.
amazing is, you have suburbia, but on the edge of wilderness. Do you know what I mean? Where you guys are out in Wisconsin, and with a slight different, a warmer temperature base than where we are here, right? Mostly we have
Right.
summer, but you guys, like, by April, you're rocking there, big time weather, and for sure,
Yep.
right into October,
Yeah.
November.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then Mother Nature can
Oh, well, you
flip
okay,
that switch at any time.
monkey? Right. Oh, a little guy. I got my little rabbit here. Poor guy. He's got. I don't know what's wrong. He's got.
You're
He's
cloaking.
getting old. Yeah, he's almost 8 years old here now. Oh, whatever. He's he's having some issues, urinary or
Mm,
whatever, and things are swelling up.
right.
We're gonna have to take him to the vet tomorrow or something if I can even do that. So you can help him. Oh God. Well, hope you're not gonna explode. He is. He's
Well,
swelling up.
sorry to
Trying
hear
I can
that.
give him. I've been giving him cranberries and black blueberries and stuff, which helped his urinary. Right.
Right. That's good. But so yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to, well, first of all, it's probably about a year since I
Mm-hmm.
had an experience by a cemetery on a
Right.
full moon night.
All right.
And I like taking pics of the full moon, right? And
Right.
there was a nearby cemetery, and I'm looking at the tombstones. It's like, I had to kind of see if I wanted to get a tombstone in the shot,
Right.
So
Right. Okay.
I'm
One of
not,
those.
I didn't jump, right. I didn't jump the fence or anything.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of looking around. So you got the road, you got a strip of grass, and then you got the fence. And I'm like, shit, I can't climb this fence. It's like, wonder if I could just go back in the woods there. There's got to be maybe there's an opening there.
Right.
And so it's dark. Okay, so it's dark. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's no cars coming or anything. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear a stone skipping across the road,
Wow.
maybe 70 feet away. And I turn around and I'm like, that was no acorn falling from a tree or anything like that. And I'm like, that was really weird. And my van was parked in the parking lot across the street.
Right.
So I'm like, well, let's check something out once. I wasn't going to get the shot with the tombstones. And I'm just like, I'll deal with it later. So I go across the street and I start walking the bike path. And maybe no more than 100 feet in, all of a sudden I hear this growling, you know, and it's a low growl. There's no eye shine. And it sounded like a freaking poodle. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And I'm just like, what kind of poodle? I think it was about 10 o'clock at night or something like that, 10:30. It's like, what kind of freaking poodles in these darn bushes? Because the nearest house was, I don't know, maybe,
200
you
feet.
know, something like that away. Yeah. It's like,
Right.
nobody's going to let their dog out at that time of night. So anyway, yeah, I ended up leaving the area. And I was thinking, oh, we got a full moon tonight. It's like, why don't I test that theory again? Why don't I go there and see if I have another experience? But then, you know, then you message me and it's like, hey, let's go. let's go do
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I
For
can go
sure.
there some other time. So yeah, that was yeah. So I don't know what the heck that was. That was just you know just a
Yeah.
strange situation.
And it sounded
But
like a dog or a poodle or whatever in the bushes.
yeah, it sounded like a poodle. It's just weird.
I heard of like several canine cryptids having that kind of sound. Like it's strange, but yeah, I've heard of that. But or maybe it could also could be a mimic. You know,
Yeah,
maybe it's a sound you might be familiar with. Do you understand? Like
right. Oh yeah,
when when a
yeah.
song when a certain sound is mimicked, it has to have some kind of familiarity with you, right? Or you
hmm
won't recognize it. So so
I've walked that bike path at night sometimes, and it's to the it's quiet, okay, and once in a while, you got the pack of coyotes that
right,
do a
right,
little yipping and howling, and there just gets to a point where it's like I gotta go. You just can't stick around there. It runs along a river, for about I think it's 5 miles, something like that. In that section, it goes a lot farther, but yeah, um, and along that stretch, sometime last year, a lady was having an issue.
really,
Um, it sounds like her property is butted up against that that area, and she let her dog out, and her dog wouldn't go to the wood line. He just kind of
really,
stayed on the porch. Yeah, and she thought that was weird. I can't remember if there was any growling, but and then the next, what did she? Then the next day she came out. The dogs were fine, and while they were doing their business, she decides to go off in the woods, a little bit.
right,
And
right.
what she looks on the ground and she sees three dead squirrels lined up in a row.
No, really,
It's like, yeah, it's like, I'm not sure if she had one dog or two dogs. So if she had two dogs and it was her, it was like, to me, I interpret it as he was gifting them. It's like,
right,
here's
right,
a squirrel for one dog, the other
right,
dog, and her.
right, right,
So I went, you know what? And it's such a vast area without you talking to somebody, all you can do is kind of poke around. Um, there's small creeks, streams that cut through there as
right.
well. And I went back there twice in February and I didn't see any signs. I still probably have 2 more miles to hike. If one of
Okay,
these times I'll go there, but I kind of lost I kind of lost interest when I didn't see any signs. You
right,
know, I thought
right.
I'd see something
You needed some
based
excitement
on the
to keep you.
geography
Right,
and everything else. Yeah.
right,
Well,
right,
yeah, because I
right,
went off trail and then it's
right.
like it was getting kind of remote. It's like, dude, if something's here, it could be anywhere and just pop on out. And then what the heck are you gonna do?
That's right.
But so, but yeah, um, definitely something going on there. And like, I mean, anything's possible with a cemetery right there. You
Yeah,
know,
I
you,
find cemeteries are, especially in the states,
you got a
are more
guardian.
proactive with activity, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Hmm.
for sure. Not necessarily, the paranormal aspect, but just a safe place to hang out, maybe, knowing humans aren't going to be there at nighttime. Do you know what I mean? Right. So,
Yeah.
right, the odd human
It,
might pass through, without the fear of ghosts and what do they call those Hanes or whatever stuff like that. You
mhm.
know, but it's that paranormal. Do you have a river close by? Because rivers are paranormal. There's always seems to be a river running through a cemetery. You ever notice that? Right, some kind of river.
Well,
Not always, but there's always some kind of water nearby.
I'll tell you, there is a pond behind that cemetery that I had that experience
Right.
at.
Well, that's where you film around there. Right
Hmm.
around the water sources. So I same with where one of my sites here, where it go the creek there runs through three cemeteries. Okay, and I've caught in different paranormal activity because of that. Right, a couple ghosts here and there, and you know, in the photos, and also contacted too. Like I said, there's an infamous ghost I seen in the park years ago, 10 years, 12 years ago,
Wow.
or something. Yeah, twice. I stopped to dip down. Across the street was the subway station, so I was just dip down here, have a quick joint before I get on this train and go home. With my bike here or whatever, or I was walking. I was at my friend's doing gardening. So okay, just the boom, and I see this fucking female coming down the walkway towards me. A specter, a ghost. Female
Right,
ghost.
right.
And I'm like, holy shit, I'm fucking out of here. I panicked and fucking laughed. Right, freaked me out. And then same thing. Uh, a 2 year difference or something like that. Same thing happened again, same place, right? Same type of
Mhm.
experience. This ghost coming towards me asked me for help the second time, some kind of help or
Wow.
whatever, right? And I'm like, sorry, I can't help you. I'm out of here, you know,
I'd be darned, dude.
right? And if
Wow,
it
that's
was,
a trip.
yeah, it is. That scared the bejesus out of me, you know. Even though I've
Huh.
seen ghosts and that since I was a kid, not when they're asking for help, same with we were playing with the Ouija board. We're kids, and
Well, what are
we
they gonna
called in.
do to
Hold
you?
on, this is
When
important. We called in our next door neighbor who had passed away from cancer. Playing with the Ouija board, he popped up. Man, that freaked us out as kids. Okay, we took a. You know what's even stranger? Years later, I know that block of townhouses could have been haunted, or they tore down those block of eight townhouses and put a street through there and a store in that. Okay,
huh.
but they left every other townhouse complex up. Okay, so how do you explain that? That's strange, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Who's to say, what was going on if it was just like, well, you know, this is where we're gonna build that road, and I've seen that around here too with strip malls. They'll tear
right.
down, several blocks just to put up their strip mall, but and leave everyone to fend for themselves.
For sure. And that's for sure. When the first time
But
I had my Sasquatch encounter, I had back to back at scout camp, right? So it came in interdimensional. The first time they showed me. They came first time was interdimensional form, and next day was the physical form. So they stressed they wanted me to know about the interdimensional aspect of Sasquatch. Okay, it was important in that, and to see one hovering, just off your knee level there, off the ground, so you understood it was interdimensional, right? So
mhm.
that was an important lesson that a couple times over the years, I tried to equate the experience. Is it interdimensional or is it a real physical encounter? And that, but it's like
Uh,
1 foot each world. The living in that,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, and they can change that state from matter to frequency
Right.
anytime.
It
And
may,
in between too.
right. Now you've heard of
So,
certain parts of the forest, all the sticks and trees and logs, they're all interconnected, touching, like a grid, sort of, like an electrical
mhm,
grid, sort of, like you've welded everything together, all the wires, so your lamp will work, between all
right.
the posts and stuff, and in series or whatever, stuff like that. That's what the forest seems too. Like everything's connected. So maybe we can't see it physically, or maybe we might be able to sense it sometimes, the vibrational energy. But so when they go, and all of a sudden people say they disappear, maybe the energy, they know how to activate that energy for that portal to pop open, and boom, they disappear, pop into that portal. Somebody said once that when they're traveling through these portals, popping in and out of these portals, is when you get that stench, that
Oh,
chemical exchange. Do you know that it's like a chemical exchange, sort of?
Yeah, that's
right?
sulfur sometime. And I
What's
think,
that? Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what that sulfur smell could be.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Like they pop through a portal, and that into our world. So that's how it's pronounced or something. You can identify it somehow, right? But not always. Like there's other times there is no stench. So or it might be just a flowery smell or something, and it's hard to tell.
Yeah, and that flowery smell, I mean, with all the different wildflowers around, and you got humidity,
Right.
and you got conditions just right in the forest, all of a sudden you catch that whiff. Yeah, it makes me turn my head and look, but it's like, you're just catching this, you're just catching that. And it's just not the wildflowers. I mean, it's just the fauna in general,
Right. Right. Right.
that emits that fragrance,
For
But
sure.
it's just amazing. But I've never came across the foul scent yet, you know.
Right.
And I
Right.
mean, I say yet. I mean, I shouldn't even say that, If it happens, it happens. I don't,
Mhm.
And
Right.
and even with the experience I had at Emmons Creek,
Right.
nothing, no foul smell, no, just
Really.
just the chatter, just the responses back and forth,
For sure.
and you had the scout or whatever keeping tabs on me and making his engine sound, you
Right.
know. Dude, that was a frickin' trip. I'd love to grab everybody and have them take that walk with me. I mean, it was a beautiful hike, beautiful walk in, and then all of a sudden it's like, what is going on? And it's like, yeah, it's just a gorgeous area that you wouldn't expect to see them, But I mean, they weren't in the big grassy meadows. I mean, who knows? They could bed down there at any time. I mean, anyone could take a nap. It's like 3 feet high,
For
those
sure. For
grassy meadows.
sure. Right.
But
But
yeah,
but then,
I
then
mean,
again, same thing with condensation, all that. You can't really sleep there because you're going to be soaking wet in the morning. In the middle of the morning,
it,
right? It's
yeah,
like
it doesn't take long. Yeah,
no,
for it to set in that for the dew. Yeah,
right. I think they have
but
certain area. Like I said, I've seen them construct tree structures, right? Where they'll haul up a huge a log, a huge tree log, with the help of several, right, to get it up to the into the canopy, and they'll lay on that. You know what I mean? Like a huge log that they'll use to sleep on, right? I've seen several of those constructed where a teamwork where they're. I had one or two photos there where they're actually lifting. It was just a tiny little sliver around the corner, right? And once you blew it up, you could see boom, it was teamwork. Three or four Sasquatch. There were two up in the canopy, one on the ground, and one big guy
wow,
underneath the tree, like using his shoulder to lift up the log, like inch it up, and they're pushing it up. Some are
wow.
pulling, some are pushing to get this big log up, okay? And that was amazing photos. And no, and that but it goes see people didn't like
I've
that
seen that
because it
on.
went against
I've
the structures on the ground. You know what I mean? So there was a
I've
conflict.
seen that on two occasions. Where well, though you have this, you got the strong standing tree, and then you got the tree with the fork in it, and it
Yes,
comes
yes,
down. All right, and they'll add. So it's like this, and then they'll add a perch right here,
right,
or
right, right,
another log,
right,
and both locations have structures in them. You know,
right. Hmm.
and that and that one is called Lost Canyon. Oh,
Right.
just a gorgeous place with a stream running through the entire canyon. And when he pushed that log, I mean, what's the odds of you walking through and all of a sudden this tree decides to fall off the top? I don't know, 100 feet up, and just
Wow.
come tumbling down.
Of course.
But
But I've seen the
so
same kind of tree structure here in my research. One of my research areas, same thing where they're pushing those big logs up into the fork in the canopy there, and and they're sleeping on that. Like, that's their couch, that's their bed, that big log, you know, in that for some reason. I don't know, but that's how they do it. Right. And they can balance on there so they don't fall off, I guess, in the middle of the night, you know, and
I think,
that's
yeah, with being off the ground, it's just,
it's safety. Okay.
it's
Further.
safety. You know what I mean?
Right. Of course. Of course. Right. And like I said,
In
we talked
fact,
the real whoop
in
here,
fact,
right?
their nests, from what I've heard, they could be, or their nest could be like 4 feet off the ground or
Right.
more.
Of course.
They just,
Right.
I mean,
I've seen a
I'm
lot
sure
of
they're
trees used as nests, and that. So, and you're off the ground. You can see any predators or prey, whatever coming towards you, right? You wouldn't
Mhm.
want to be, I'm not saying they don't sleep in those, shelters or whatever structures, but who wants to get caught with their pants down on the ground and somebody sneaking up on you? Do you know what I mean?
No,
Right,
right.
right.
Those
You
are,
know?
yeah, a lot of those are just, like markers and just areas where they can open portals.
Right.
That's their
I've seen one.
elevator, so to speak.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I seen one down uh Las Vegas at Nevada. Okay, this guy
Huh.
doing research there about 5 years ago, right? This guy Brett, right? Vegas Bigfoot, or whatever it was called. I can't remember right now. I'll look it up later. And there was the structures, right? And you could tell some were more intricate than the others, in builds, but some looked like they were, not that intricate, like they, maybe a dog man with his limited appendixes there for his fingers, and with the long nails, he could only have certain function. They can't weave
Right.
any of the branches and that. They can only pretty well just lay them down or just a light weave. Do you know what I mean? Nothing intricate, no layering in that. No lattice
Well,
work, just simple laying of the sticks there. And I seen a picture too of one laying, a simple branch onto this, and the guy freaked out. He said, "No, it's Sasquatches," and I said, "No, we don't know for sure, right? Some could be Sasquatch,
right.
some could be dogman structures, but but I think they're more symbolic, or like you said, or could be help trigger portals and stuff. Who knows, right? Like we're getting closer and closer to the answers, right? Certain
Hmm.
answers, right?
I mean, wouldn't that be the coolest thing to see? Is you're walking in through the woods and all of a sudden you look to your right and there's a dog man. He's got his back to you. He doesn't see you or sense you yet, and he's propping something up. I'm like, you son of a bitch. you know, I know they make them. I'm just waiting for a friend of mine to make a drawing of it. And
Right,
I'll tell him, I said, I'm giving you $100 to make me a drawing. I mean, that's how important it is to me,
right.
because then I can compare it to the ones that I've seen that where the energy around it is just it's different, you know.
Yeah, like I said, when I seen it strolling, on the second day after the people had left, right? A little group of people that were down in the park had left, and I was the only one there. And this thing just
Right.
casually just strode in, like walked in like he owned the park or something, And I'm like, who is this? I didn't expect it to see it a second day, never mind a third. Okay, 3 days in a row, right? This dog man, but how he just casually just strode in, yeah, not a worry, no sneaking in and that, like making sure he's not being watched. He just casually just strolled right in, right? So what do we know or don't know? How can you do that and not have to worry? As a predator, you still have to,
You-
right? Especially on the edge of suburbia. How do you,
right.
how do you pull that off? Right? My
Well,
my
knowing
other
that
one,
you could
my other
change your state of matter in a heartbeat, or you can just
right,
pause out and maul someone.
right. You ever had a shapeshifter encounter or something like that, or a human changed into a different form, or you seen something and thought, well, that was weird, or I seen that one
No,
camp.
my
One
my
camping.
granddaughter did. My
Pardon me?
granddaughter did.
Really?
Well, a friend that was in the passenger seat of the car did. They were camping in a area called Baraboo, and I don't know if they had to leave for the day to leave for the night to pick somebody up or drop somebody off at home, whatever, and then go back to the campsite. My granddaughter, she's in the back seat and her head's down. I think said she was on the phone at the time, and then her friend in the front seat, like more or less like, what was that? And she looks up, she's like, what are you guys talking about? Well, it was a deer that was crossing the road, running across the road, but at the last minute it was changing into like a woman or something like that.
Oh, really?
I have to ask her again. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, holy cow. I said, are you kidding me? She goes, no, Grandpa, I'm not, and it's like, wow. So yeah, they're around. You know, certain communities, certain towns, for whatever reason, the Native American uh, influence that's still present there, or
Right.
or
That was
or
like that was like
residual,
that was like my friend.
energy.
That was like my friend Ruby, who was down with her grandkids and family walking through one of the state parks, right, with the kids and that. And I told her the kids there, they're talking to the little people. I told her, right? She didn't. At first, she was shocked when I told her that. I said, the one kid. I told her which one out of the three is traversing with the little people and with Bigfoot. They're talking, right?
Hmm.
In that, and she confronted and asked, and yeah, and it was true, and that she was stunned, and they said they were asking her for strawberries or something. It wasn't even in season. One of the kids was their little kid. The little people, the kid was sick or something and needed strawberry leaf to make a tea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they asked me,
Wow.
I said, no, you can't do that. Wherever I know they're asking, but the girl cannot bring the stuff there. Maybe you, if you want to or whatever. Right now, I said, I don't know. I would not. If you don't want your kids, connecting and that, you might have to disconnect. Do you understand? Right?
Yeah.
I told them that, and they confronted and that, and they said it was all true, and that, and it was amazing. But at the same time, they were scared because, they're worried. One of the kids might disappear eventually, or something. Go into the fairyland or something. And it's not. I'm joking, but it's actually true. Like people
Oh
really
yeah.
swear by this stuff. And the
Especially up in
Fable.
Alaska.
Yes.
There's some nasty ones in Alaska.
Right.
Those little people. Oh yeah.
Well, I believe it.
I can't remember that one channel, but that guy has a lot of people sending him emails of
Oh,
experiences they've had with them, and then people see the footprints in the snow, little tiny
right, right.
footprints. The next morning, but around their property. Oh yeah,
I believe it.
and
Yeah.
I'm seeing more. I'm seeing more and more of them in my pics. When
Yes.
you zoom
Yes.
in and you enhance them, and it's like you were there all along, and I never saw you. I didn't even, you know what I mean? I don't even.
Right.
You hear scurrying, and right away you look and it's like, okay, it's a squirrel or it's a chipmunk, whatever.
But you don't see the
Um,
squirrel. That's right. You have to look
well, it's
really
never.
close. There's
It's only.
signs, right? When
It's
you're
only been
walking.
one time that I heard footsteps and I turned around and nobody was there.
Right.
And that's just on the outskirts of the city where I used to live. And that place changes every time you turn around,
Wow.
you know. And yeah, I wasn't
Yeah,
going to
I
hurt the
heard.
deer. I was, okay, I tell you something. Um, right where the 13-foot tall sapling is still stuck in the ground with the roots pointing up. I measured 13 feet, right? I wanted to
Wow.
make sure it was still standing.
Right.
Sure enough, it's still propped up, still in that angle. know,
Right. Incredible.
picking.
Right.
It's like, well, let's see how close you can get, right? So I'm just going, I'm creeping up on him. I'm just like, he sees me, I see him, everything's fine, you know. And I took a couple pics, and I was sitting here, tick, 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 something hastily bipedal running on 2 feet. I'm like,
Right.
it's almost as if it's like it's like, I don't know, it's like for a minute I sensed something back behind me. So it just heard, tick, 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 tick. It's like, okay, so who are you? What did you do that for? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Um, are you just testing all of my senses? Because it's like, I don't know, not to say I'm way ahead of you, but it's like, I
Right.
know it's everything you do in this forest. And it's one of those forests that you're just at home at. You can walk into that forest and just say, hello. I mean, it's just like, come, show me a sign. It's just
Right.
amazing, you know, but,
First time I seen them, in my photos was a couple years ago during the wintertime on the fence. And there, and I was saying hello and that and whatever, and they came out some to have their picture taken. Wintertime on a fence scene, right? And it was amazing. And I seen about a half a dozen or so there on the fence, right? Saying hello, man. Thank you. I said thanks, and that's when I knew they were there, in that little area around the bridge, around the water, and all that little stuff, right? And if you look carefully, you might see it. I studied for the past 4 or 5 years the signs, how to look for them, right?
um,
There's certain little signs, you have to. We're always looking up here, right? Now you have to shrink that 20 times
right,
down, right? And apply the same, theories to look for something, okay? And you'll find it. You'll see a little trail coming, through the brush there, right? You'll see a little trail, a
right.
little arch, a little stick arch that they'll travel through, underneath, right? I shouldn't be giving this away right now, but right, but that's how,
Hush.
I'm not saying every time they're going to be there, but that's the kind of stuff you have to look for. And I hope they don't get mad at me for, spilling some of this info, but you got to study, you got to look for tiny
No.
little prints, right? Tiny little trackways, and
Well,
same with their houses. They have little courtyards around the trunk of the trees, on the base of the trees, little stick courtyards, if you know what to look for. Not every tree has it, okay? And not
right.
even some where they nest, sometimes they'll be bare and that, but some are more intricate and have stuff and have even art larger, from the little people, like, a couple inches to 6 inches, to then there's the bigger people to 1 inch, 6 inches to 1 foot, and then 1 foot to 2 feet. After that,
Mm, right.
that's a different classification.
Yep.
Something midget
Well,
or mini person, instead of a little person, you know. But there is,
I
I
mean,
think,
you
wild little
figure,
people.
I do my share of looking on the ground,
Right.
you know, but but it but my eye isn't trained for that. I mean, if something's, if something's out of place, you know,
And like
on a small scale, okay, I might give it some thought, make a mental note of it. But
right,
all in all, it's a larger scale, a little
right,
bit higher off the ground.
right.
So, and quite honestly, that's not my how do you want to put it? It's not my field at the moment. But
Yeah,
the more we talk about it, you
right,
can do three things at once. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You're
right.
already there. Just all you got to do is, just look for all three signs.
Yes. Now, if you see our videos there, like, I've done some shorts on YouTube, and sometimes I put up the odd video and that, but you'll see, like, not every, stick is a glyph. I look for certain glyphs. I look for a certain sign, okay, that I'm familiar with, that I comprehend, okay, myself, not what other people,
Ye-
that I can understand, and they manner. That's the way I want it, okay. So everything's done in simpler form for myself, right? Some other people want it more complicated. That's all the power to them, right? But I want it simple. Keep it simple,
You
Simon.
know something, Tom? You
Yeah,
want to hear something?
yeah. Go ahead.
Uh, 2 weeks ago, we went to a new trailhead.
Right.
Absolutely gorgeous area. And I'll tell you something. There was um, there was 6 of us that went, and the 2 people in front were just kept walking. Right, they just kept walking,
Right.
and I saw the first teepee structure. It was
Right.
kind of tucked behind a tree, but otherwise, all five, all five would have walked by it.
Right.
You know, And it was funny because I just told a friend of mine, I says, could we have came here just about 30 minutes sooner? I just wanted a little bit more light to read the forest. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I looked to my left, and bam, it's right there. You know, it was the coolest thing. And after that, everything, I mean, it was like you were in a zone that night. You know what I mean? It was like
Hmm.
one arch after this huge, like a 3-stick teepee that was maybe 16 feet off the ground, you know,
Wow.
the double hoops, the triple hoops, it was like there, and a couple other people saw it as well. But I was just like, boom, hey, and we had headlamps, so it was hard to see, but it was just
Right.
one after another. And
There's a
we
shadow.
all want to go back there during the day, to really get a good look. But it was really interesting, it was really intriguing, and some good stuff going on. You know, that's a that's a new area that I'm going to be heading
I
to
see some of the
more often.
photos in that, and it looked like an amazing place there. But that's
I
amazing.
didn't share. I didn't share that one from 2 weeks ago yet. It's
No,
kind of
no.
going to be a two-part post. One
Okay.
around Mothi Lake
Right.
and then Zilmer. But
What I was trying to say was you travel to some of these different places lately, and it blew me away how amazing they look. Anything could happen in any one of these places. You never know. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But yeah, and like that's great that you have that eye for the key detail. You know what I mean? It's so easy to miss things. Like I said,
And
my
it's
partner
weird
and I
because
were
you
out,
can be,
and we find just a little.
something, you can just be off that day. You can just be off that day
That's right.
where you're just like, you're looking at it. Oh, how did you see that? It's like, what's wrong with me today? I don't have any focus. I'm not attuned, whatever,
Right.
but it's not, maybe, see, that's annoying. It's not meant for you to see that time or something,
Right.
or catch.
Right.
But,
Like I
but
said,
all the areas, Tom, all the areas they roam are absolutely gorgeous. You know what I mean?
right.
All their habit, it's just amazing.
That was like
The plush fern and these spring fed creeks, and the
that's what I'm
pines.
saying.
They
You got
love the
such
pines.
beautiful land out there. Yeah, it's prime habitat. Right. Put up a sign there for rent.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I still would love to go up to Lake Ontario area, and check out some of those state parks with you in the future. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
this year, but who
No,
knows
no,
down the road?
dude,
You
you
know what I
never
mean?
know because I'm telling you, Ontario's is active. If you know where to look, it's active. Okay, and you'll have experiences.
Hmm.
Right here, we don't carry the gun, so I think Bigfoot's a bit safer, and is a little friendlier. I think so. You know, so you know, does that make a difference? Yeah, I think in Alaska, where everyone's armed to the teeth and shoots at anything moving, I think they're more ornery up there. You know what I mean? Right. Same with down in Florida, down
Oh,
in
they're just,
the deep
yeah. But
swamp.
Alaska, they're just a whole new, I don't know, just a whole new different species,
Right.
being, you know what I mean? Nasties and
Right.
huge. I mean, but
Right. But I had that roadside. The strangest one of all was the roadside uh, viewing of the Sasquatch there, that skunk ape there in Florida, near that, and how even though he was big, but not too big, right? But more shaggy fur and that. But he's
mhm.
but he had a smile on his face, but most of the stories I've heard is all being like mean, mean, mean. But it's like he actually was a smile on his face the day I seen him, right? And but the most incredible stench, like that permeates your mind and brain, the memory. You never lose it, if you ever smell
Yeah,
it, right? And we were
that's
like driving
amazing,
through pockets,
dude.
right? Things come in three, one, two, like driving through these big pockets of stench. And I knew we're coming closer. The stench was getting worse and worse, right? And I knew, like, it's only, remember this. The encounter or the sighting is only meant for you. Okay, Michael? It's only meant for
Right.
you, my friend, right? You only.
Hmm.
You might be with 4 or 5, 6 people. Doesn't matter. They might look all this way. You look that way, and you're going to see something. It's meant to be, okay? That's why you spotted those structures and your friends didn't, okay? It's meant for your eyes only, okay?
Yeah.
Right? If you believe that, I don't
Well,
know.
I have a friend that's been really hitting some home runs lately in their area,
Right
and
on.
it's en route to where I might start doing more research. And it's just it wasn't there before. These structures going up, and
Right.
the prints weren't there before, and all of a sudden you start noticing. I was like, just something so magical, so cool is going on there. You
Oh,
know,
for sure, for sure.
but
I'll tell you.
and it's just nice that they're there to catch it. You know what I mean?
Like I said that one time, when I could see them, half a dozen the Sasquatch,
I'm done
wildman,
ready for a
whatever,
jacket.
in the tree line, right? Friends of mine are like within
Oh,
10
here comes
feet.
the deer. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
right on.
He's gone, and then we got fireflies coming out too.
Fireflies, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
Right. You don't see too many.
but we've been seeing some fireflies that are different lately. They're
Oh yeah.
the light coloring is different, and
Somebody
it's
else mentioned that I think last year or something. I have to look at.
so
Yeah.
take the average firefly size light, and then excuse me, add you know, it's probably maybe 5 times the size of that, so it makes it
Right.
maybe the size of a penny, between a penny and a nickel, and you can just see it just strobing on and off in the trees in the forest, from a
Right. Right.
distance. So that's a new phenomenon that when we go out, we're looking for, and just have a hard time interpreting what it is. Um, I had one similar though that I saw at the lakefront when I was watching the full moon come up last year,
Oh, right on.
and his light was huge. So was it one of those, uh, types? I don't know, but it was a bright freaking light. It's like the size of 4 pencil erasers put together, and just strobing on and off. And I'm
Right.
like, what the heck are you? I think I took a picture, just a short video on it, but yeah.
Right.
But that's different.
Could
It's
be
different than your average
mutation.
orbs.
You think it's some kind of
But
mutation, maybe? Yeah, change, mutation or change, or
I'm
due to atmosphere conditions, possibly
it's
evolution.
really hard. I mean, mutation. It's not a stretch. It's a
Right.
good question. It's not a stretch of the
Right.
imagination,
Okay.
but
Right.
I don't
So,
know.
so now remember, the little people, right? We were taught, whether you want to believe it or not, that some of these little people, you take a photo, right? We were in that group a couple of years ago, that they can disappear, they can move in the photo. Do you remember that teaching, right? Where the little people, they're here and then they can move in the photo. I've seen it happen twice, all right, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, yeah, right. But I actually seen it happen, and so did my partner along with me. We seen it happen. They changed position in the photo. So after the fact, okay. So just remember that, that's That's supernatural. Do you understand? To be able to
Yeah.
do, right? Okay. We were taught by the lady there who used to run that post on the group there on the little people. That was her major teaching.
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Right,
I
right,
know who you're talking about.
right. Without mentioning names, yeah, yeah. Right,
Right.
okay, right. And at first I didn't believe it, and then I was shocked, right? And how true. I did see that after the fact. It changed positions,
That's got to
and
be
in front of
crazy.
us are actually seen it. One time you come back, it was in a different. Yeah, the second time my partner and I both seen it move, right? So and wow, I that was something that that was a profound that was a profound moment to be able to learn something like
Oh,
that and to see it happen. Right? A lot of people
right.
may not believe that or something or whatever. I just keep that tucked in the back of my memory. That fact,
Right.
right? So but it's hard to explain it, but I've seen it happen. Okay, but so we always have to remember stuff like that. So can these things go and change? So like it's like the glyphs. I think the little people are making some of these stick glyphs. You know what I mean? And that on the ground, right? Possibly,
Oh, I'm sure of it. Yeah.
right, for the Sasquatch people, yeah, or in conjunction together, and that. But I have seen, and it's funny is the arches, the arch. I showed in one of my photos there where it was pinned down underneath the log, right? And it was a true arch, right? And I find other signs, a ground stick, and that. I said, I checked this area last year, right? You know what I mean? Michael, and there was nothing around there. Do you know what I mean? All these new
Right.
signs was this past activity, these past few months, right? None of that existed. All those signs we checked before, there was nothing. Do you know what I mean? So that's all new activity. So in one of my areas, which I thought had gone to the wayside, now it's come back with some action, right? Some kind of action. How far do you
Yeah.
so in suburbia do you think they say there's reports of Bigfoot in Detroit City and stuff like that. I don't know about New York City, but right, Kolchak's still looking for the swamp monster down there. Remember
Hmm.
that, right? Did you ever watch that show Kolchak? No. Kolchak,
On and off. Yeah, not
uh,
much.
lost interest there. Yeah, that was the one. He had some good.
You're
Yeah,
showing your age, right?
yeah, I know. I just recently became a senior. I know. Yeah, we watched $1 Million Man and Bigfoot back when we were kids. Yeah, that was interesting.
Hmm.
Right? Do you remember the first time you watched that Patterson Gimlin film? Do you remember where it was the first time? I watched it on the Mike Douglas
It
show
could have.
after school. About 9 years old, I
Could
think, 8 or 9.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
sounds like something that would have been on In Search of or something. Remember In Search of
A few years later, right? Okay, yeah, with Leonard Nimoy, of course. I
with
seen it on
Leonard
there.
Nimoy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I see now Patterson on, by himself without Gimlin on the Mike Douglas show, right? Showing the film and talking about it, and it was interesting. And it's hard to find that episode. I've looked and looked.
Wow.
Yeah, if you
You
look, you
Googled it.
might be
You
able.
tried
If you're
Googling
lucky.
it and everything, eh?
Pardon me.
You tried Googling it and everything,
Oh,
eh?
I
You
have.
couldn't find it?
It shows it's there, but it's hard to find the film, right? It's documented that he was on there and all that, right? So, and
Yeah.
that, you know, and it's one of
But
those things with YouTube. 1 year the film is there, the next 6 months later it's gone, right? For a couple of years, boom, people say, "Oh, they're right." The comments, yeah, it's back after 3 years, right? It
so
pops up
stupid,
again.
right? Isn't that
It is
stupid?
because it should be up there all the time, Yeah.
It's like, let's censor this. Well, on second thought, you know, millions and millions have seen it. We'll put it back on. It's like,
Yeah, that's right. It is. It's crazy stuff. Because then, it'd be good to
But
just to be able to see Patterson, how he talks and acts and all that. You know what I mean? Years
well,
later,
I just like how the damn thing is walking right in the middle of the open.
Yeah,
It's not a one stretch of being elusive whatsoever. Ain't peeking around a tree, ain't this. No, it's just like, strolling through the frickin' Central Park on a Sunday afternoon,
right.
you know?
Even when it
And
picks up,
you know why that is, Tom. You know why that is. You
why
know
is
why
that?
that is?
No, tell me.
Because Gimlin was set up.
Gimlin was set up. You
I
think it's
think
a
I
guy in
think
a
he was
suit?
set up.
Do you think? Do you
Yeah.
think it's a guy in a suit? I
Yeah.
think it's irrelevant. You know what? Even if it is a guy in a suit, something was projected onto that guy. I think because you see stuff on that guy that there's no way he could have produced that.
Well, it made for a perfect scenario, you
Yeah,
know?
I think it was a message. Remember, there was no batteries in that thing. It was like a wind up sort of thing, kinetic or whatever you call that. It was wind up. Magnetic or whatever. Where you had to turn the crank for power. There was no batteries in there, so there was no detecting any batteries. Energy, right? For the camera had no batteries. Okay, so
Right.
right, that was the first time maybe being filmed. Remember, a couple of the younger ones supposedly got killed by Green. Okay, that guy Green. Okay, he killed a couple of juveniles. Right, I seen the photos and the blood and all that. Right, so maybe it was just a message.
Yeah.
Hold on, a one-time message. Maybe there was a guy in the bushes waiting, but he got cut off by the real thing. Maybe, and there was a message, a one-time message for humanity.
Right.
Right? Like
Very,
I'm just
very,
saying,
very good. I mean,
long shot thing. I'm not saying it's for sure or anything. That it came out to show mankind. A one-time fucking boom, like going to the moon. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
going to the moon. That whether you believe it or not, it was something. Do you know what I mean? The image was projected
Yeah.
on it, whether it's a guy in a suit or the real thing. There was images projected, thoughts and
Hmm.
energy projected on there that the camera caught, and you see years later, you're trying to figure out what the hell is that? What is that? What is this thing? What is that? Right? Mind,
Well,
kinetic
it's the
energy.
people, and then you got to look at the people they hung with too,
Right,
and they're connected.
right.
So, you
Get
know,
them. I have a picture of an
and I
alien.
can't think of all their names, but
Right, right. But
there's
I
some
have a
good
picture.
YouTube videos out there that break it down.
I had a picture of an alien. Morph. What do you call it? Shapeshifting off the fucking Bigfoot. Whatever. Now, is that just something that just happened to be there and is connected? A third party thing? I have different photos, but nobody wants to talk about all that, right? Also the film's being redone, shit's being hidden, little they're trying to hide little clues. Okay,
I just,
right,
I just think it's so stupid. It's so, I mean, at
right,
first it's compelling, and then afterwards, when you really start breaking down the whole situation, and that's just my opinion. I don't care if I offend who the hell I
right,
offend. That's my opinion. You know,
right,
so you know,
right. When I was
but
a little kid, when I was 8, 9 years old, and I seen him fucking walking across the fucking TV screen here, right? And on a movie projector in the studio there, Mike Douglas there, ABC Studios, Channel 7, whatever it was at the time, Buffalo, New York. Boom, right? It looked as a kid, 8 or 9, that looked like a real creature. Do you understand? You didn't know anything about a man in a costume. This was before Bigfoot, and the $6 million man. You know what I mean? This is before that,
Mhm.
right? And this is during the Planet of the Apes fiasco, crap, But it didn't
yeah,
look
it's a
anything like
sense.
that. It
It's
looked
the
different,
sense that you have.
right?
You
It
know,
looked like a real creature walking across that thing, and then 10 years later, you start hearing rumors that it's not real. Now I'm like, what? No,
yeah,
don't say that.
right.
Right? Shocking the nation. It was like the
I still
gorilla,
remember.
right? You
Well, it's like
remember,
the werewolf. Do you ever watch? Do you remember Lon Chaney and the Werewolf?
Yeah, of course. I've watched it several times. Yeah.
My God, dude! I mean that that thing. He had me hooked, man. He had me hooked to a T,
That's
and
right.
I'd sit there and watch it, and my mom would start laughing, and I'd look at her like, man, you can't be laughing at the werewolf, It's like, what's so funny? This thing is real.
No, we're watching that. Yeah,
It
the
was the
werewolf
coolest
versus
thing, though.
mummy. It was. He was like a hero. You know.
Oh, and the Mummy too. The Mummy got me too.
That's
I was
right.
glued watching that thing.
Peter Lee and the other guy. Yeah, I know that was crazy stuff, man. But it was good. But like I said, yeah, I will. Whatever. You know. But like I said, can there be projections? Like Gimlin. I heard Gimlin one time on that one show there, Sasquatch Chronic, say talk to Buddy there and say he had the rifle cocked right there. You could see the face and he couldn't shoot it
Oh,
because it looked too human. He was saying, you know what I mean, right? And that he only one time I heard him say whatever he had the rifle. Couple. Then he stopped saying that again. People didn't like hearing that. Well, you were going to shoot Bigfoot. Yeah, he was going to. If he had to, he would have. Right?
well, that brings up the other area where it's like, well, I need proof. I got to see the body. I got to see the bones.
Right. Right.
And it's just like, why? I mean, you and I, we don't go in the woods, with a gun because we got to bring some back live or dead. You know what I'm saying? It's just a stupid mentality of these freaking people.
Well, it's like the gorilla. When first
you
recorded,
can't just walk
people
through the
didn't believe
freaking
it. They
forest.
put one in the zoo. They had to see him in a zoo in the circuses, or they wouldn't have believed that there was such a creature. You know what I mean? Same with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Is Bigfoot destined to go to the fucking zoo or to the circus? You think? Is he destined?
No.
He won't. He
Nope.
won't make that route. No.
Oh,
Some people
hell
will
no.
demand it. That's if once declared real and true, people will demand that we put in a zoo and or a circus so they can come and visit. And it's
God.
right.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't pay
are we
for
moving
it.
past that part?
I wouldn't need that.
No, neither would I. Like I said,
especially their genetic makeup.
Right. The first time I see it, it was interdimensional. Okay, so you don't need the body. They're telling me the body is not important. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, and I've had the physical encounters, right? To get me to believe more, I guess. I don't know. When you see an 800,000-pound fucking dude lumbering across the road, fuck, and you're in your vehicle, yeah, and it's just like you don't even feel safe in your vehicle. Put it that way, and
Yeah.
right. Your Chevy truck there, yeah, but at the same time they're channeling you, telepathy, telling you don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. That was my major theme. I was always hesitant, afraid. I didn't want to embrace 100%. Yeah, I didn't mind hanging around for a little bit, and then okay, see you guys later. Right? I'll see you again next summer. Right?
Well,
Every year now is fucking let's research and hi Bigfoot, I want to give you a big hug. Yeah, no, right? In the old days, no, it was summertime and camping, and I'll think about you here and there. Right.
Well, that's exactly what he told me in my mind. Right. Don't be afraid.
Right. That's good. That's a big step.
Did you see my post on that, Tom?
Pardon me?
Did you see my post on that?
No.
Did you see my post?
I would read it. Whatever. I'll look for it and then read it.
Oh.
I can't. I'm not sure if I read it or not. I can't. I'll reread it. Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just like
I might have read it. I possibly have. But yeah, don't be afraid. I remember hearing you say that before, and possibly even reading it. So,
and
important thing for me.
You know what happened after that, Tom? Tom, I'll tell you something. You know what happened after that?
No, what
It
happened?
was melancholy. How do you want to put it? Melancholy behavior after that. It was a soft huff and soft, bird
Right,
calls that weren't, you know, made by a bird.
right,
It's just kind of like, here you go. We're going to give you something softer. We're not going to give you the hard stuff like we gave you earlier.
right, right.
But
That was like me,
yeah.
like you had those pictures of woodpecker recently, and I remember spotting the
Oh yeah, yeah,
woodpecker
yeah.
right
That thing
right
was
above me. I'm
gorgeous, dude.
fishing. There's the woodpecker on the tree, duh, 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 and I'm fishing, watching fishing. Okay, there's a message. I don't know. Then later I hear that whatever, like Morse code almost, right? And like, okay, that's not the woodpecker. I said it's close, but that's not the woodpecker. That's something else. And then all of a sudden, wham! It's like a light bulb went off in my head. Congratulations, like you passed
See,
the test, right? Yeah, and like okay, now you're to the next level, right? That
well,
I I
that's
understood what
interesting.
mimicking was. The mimic, you know what
That
I mean?
that
Little
was
tests along the
that
way,
brings up an interesting thought, Tom.
Yeah,
That brings up an interesting thought. How many woodpecker sounds you've heard and just assume it's a woodpecker? You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes,
And
yeah,
I'll tell you right now, Tom, I've dismissed all of them, but being just that.
right,
And why? You know what I mean?
right,
I've given it thought, but you know, until I don't know, until I get that other sense, it's just gonna be, and a lot of times you don't see them, you just hear them.
right, right.
So why are they so elusive? But if you watch the manners of a woodpecker, they'll stick with one hole, they'll tap on it, and then they're always jumping around, you know,
Right.
around the tree,
Yes. Yes.
and they're never sitting still. So you can just, you can't just look and say, "Oh, there he is."
Right.
But
Right.
then there's the times when you don't see them. Why
Yeah.
aren't you seeing them? But they could be on the other side. And you know what? I bet you if you go by that tree, you go off trail and you go by that tree and hop over them logs and trip on the branches and you go physically and look all around that tree for a half hour and you don't find them, you know, then what?
See,
You
see,
know
see,
what I
that's
mean?
what. Right. See, that was Michael. That was the interesting part. Was when I heard that was watching that woodpecker. I heard it then when it flew off to another tree somewhere. I heard the same sound. Right. So then when I heard the
Right.
different sound of a woodpecker, I said that is different. That's not the same.
You know something?
Right. It's close, but
You,
not the same.
I'll tell you something. Is there ever times when you hear a woodpecker that rattles the crap out of the hole? He's rattling the crap with of that tree with his beak, and I'm like, that thing is really strong. I mean, it's just a rapid fire, a lot of pressure behind it, tapping. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
I don't know.
Most of the
It just
time, I
makes you
do just
wonder.
casual, do casual, almost like the bird there, like the bird you fill the water there and it and it sticks his beak in there and comes right back up. Those beaker birds, and same thing,
Right.
same
Yeah.
action, But no, yeah, that bubble frenzy fucking tearing. I don't know. That's weird. Maybe desperation to get that certain thing more, more work, harder work. They got to get to a core of hardwood or something.
Well, I mean,
The
yeah. I
vein,
mean, you could.
whatever, a bit harder there. There's a knot. Who knows?
It,
Right? But or it's a
are some,
warning
and then
sound.
there's some woodpeckers that are stronger than others that can really rock that
Of
rock that
course,
tree and make that sound, you know.
right? Of course,
But I mean, there's only a couple that I've seen. You got the pleated, and then what's that other one? There's only like two types,
brown
and well,
woodpecker.
now this third one,
I think there's a brown
red
woodpecker.
red-headed one, you
Right.
know.
Redhead,
But
and I think there's a brown one too. I'm not sure, but I think there's a
what
brown
the
color.
heck is that?
I'll have to look it up. Hold on.
Right.
I'm gonna put some a fan on. All right. Hold on a sec. Here. Put this fan in. It's getting humid again. All right. Oh,
But
okay.
you
Can
know
we take a
something?
break for 5 minutes? Can we take a break? 5 minute break?
Yeah, I'll stay right here.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Okay.
Oh,
Hold on. Okay.
sure.
Okay. Hold on. All right.
You know what I'm gonna do, Tom? You with me?
All right.
I
Right
can't
there.
hear you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. You know what I'm gonna do one of these times? I'm gonna look at Campfire Chris's YouTube channel,
Oh, yeah.
and every time he tells his stories, he's got this little lantern, and it has
Yeah.
like the flickering look, that effect of a flame
Right.
going.
Right. Right.
And I'm gonna get one of those, and then I'll start using that when we do live shows
For sure.
in
For
the
sure.
future. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just using headlamps right now, but they work. But I just like that little lantern he's got is pretty cool.
I forget her name. The one from Michigan. She was using those little like light bulbs there. Incandescent, not incandescent, but whatever they're called. They're the diode ones or whatever. But they worked with it. They had a little hanger, a hook, a hook. What do you call it? A little holder there that you could hook up to something like like on a string or
Oh,
something.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah, but was it battery operated? Was it
I think it
propane
was
ones?
solar. It was actually solar.
Oh, a
You know,
solar one.
and you could probably also charge it through your
Yeah, the solar ones. I mean, they'll give you like 4 hours
right,
of
but it was
light.
enough light,
Depending on the
like
looms. But
right, 7 watts of light or something. But it was enough or 10 watts or whatever it was. It was enough to give you some light. Like
right.
for your this immediate 2 foot area of your face. And that. So that's
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the red men look for a while.
that's cool. So it just got dark there. That's cool. And you guys are
Oh yeah, I love being outdoors. I can
right. Today's the summer
talk.
solstice, so that's amazing. Thanks.
Yeah, summer
Right.
solstice blessings to everyone out there.
Yeah. You and I had the
And
other guy
time's
on,
flying,
my
man.
friend. I asked him to come on today, and he couldn't. He had to work late overtime.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
I had
William. But
I
you
had
guys, you both
two
guys
friends.
did amazing. You're my first 100 viewer shows, right? And everyone liked that a lot. You guys were on, right? So yeah, you'll do really good. You get a show going, Michael. I'm telling you, right? You got enough stuff
Yeah.
about
Well, I mean,
experience.
uh,
Locations you've been to, is invaluable. That
oh,
alone, right?
oh, definitely. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, if I'm still going to be active out there, which I love doing, then I rather wait till I'm retired to even
Tap water.
consider a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You know.
Just run it for a minute, please, Heather. Oh, God. Anyways, yeah, I went for my, what is it called? Cappuccino, Frappuccino. All right. Cheers. What is it called?
Somebody Oh, you're doing a little frappuccino. I got you.
Frappuccino, yeah. Sugar. All right.
Well, I'm just glad I finally got a smoothie in me. I've been cheating for a while.
Yeah, that's good. Stay.
So I loaded up with some blueberries, carrots, and cranberry juice and watermelon.
Right.
A little mango, a little pineapple.
Right on. Yeah, we do the smoothie things too sometimes. And that
Nice.
right. Okay.
That cleans you up pretty good.
For sure. All kinds of fruit we hit the bins and store up. Right. Get the smoothie out of the whatever you call it, the juicer machine sometimes. Yeah. And
oh, sure.
I made some baba ganoush the other day, last week. Yeah. You ever, homemade. So, trying to finish. Sometimes I double roast the veggie, so I got to put it back in and double roast them. Right. And then,
right.
I put them into the processor. Yeah. Sometimes I even triple bake it just to get it fine. So I don't have to separate it from the skin. The purple skin will dissolve into the thing for the nutrient value, and that. And
oh, yeah.
Olive oil and that. And yeah, sure. Low salt, no salt hardly in that, just a pinch of salt. Nice. And that to bring it together, right? Yeah. But the sesame paste I left out, and it actually was pretty good. Some people like it more with the sesame paste.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I've tried that once in a dish. Yeah. Right. That was something more my granddaughter did. She did a lot of that.
It's more like a Lebanese style. I like it without, myself. I like it with
flavor.
Yeah. Just the eggplant flavor myself in that. So sure.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to have one of two guests on tonight, but it's just one of those things that didn't happen, and I'm sure
they'll be on a Friday.
They'll be on future,
especially in the summer. to get
well, it's last minute too. If we kind of do it, try to talk about it, on a Monday or Tuesday.
Sure. But if I was going to do a show tonight, because like I said, it was hot and humid, and then it finally cooled down, and I said I could try, and I'll put out a thing, like I said, a couple names, and hope somebody shows up in that. But
well, my friend, she's been trying to get me on one of her friends. I think it was her friend's podcast.
Right.
He's out of Ireland, so the show would air. You'd be on the show, like, I think it was from 11 in the morning till 1, and then it would, after editing, then it'd be able to be seen like 6 hours later, 7 o'clock. And I just, she needed a decision by Tuesday, and it's like, God, I just can't give it to you right now. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I don't know. Maybe that's because these Fridays work out best. Maybe occasional Saturday, but it's kind of cool getting it on away on a Friday night, and then.
That's what I said.
If I'm busy,
I'll take a chance if you're available. Fine. If not, last minute.
Yeah, it worked out
for sure.
But
just like Bigfoot,
so
last minute thing, he pops up out of nowhere. Right.
Well, the thing is with friends of mine who do the research with me as well as organize. Oh, I just heard it. Wait, hang on a minute.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just hang on. I hear something in the woods.
Take your time.
No, it was so weird. I don't know what spooked it, but there was a deer that was blowing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you never know.
A big, and not the size buck that blew that last year at my ass, but, Yeah, I'm gonna go back there one of these times. It's been a while because you always find these new areas, and then it's like you're intrigued by them, and you just
for sure.
Or you're drawn to it more or less. You're drawn to that area,
Yeah, of course.
But my friend Debbie Block, she's been organizing these events, these cookouts, these camping trips, and it's just been phenomenal. to know that there's these other new areas that exist out there to do some research.
Right.
It's just been amazing. I mean, would I myself go out there, to do some research? It's hard to say. It would have to be something big to attract me there. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, I know.
Um, but see, like the Maryville Caves. Okay, when I finally realized that we had, caves that were so close to. I mean, I just got to go due north. I think an hour and a half drive to
Right,
get to them.
right, right,
I mean, that was amazing. I mean, and you can literally walk in them. Some of them, you know what I mean, and then there's others that have tours there. But once again, you got can't think of the name of that river. That river runs right through there, you know,
right,
and that's where I found footprint footprints that one time last year,
right,
and that's
right,
where I found those clams piled up on a rock. You know, they've been
right.
shucked and they're just piled neatly in a little pile on a rock. I'm just like, yeah. And then there's a structure on one of the trails just to the east of the cave system. So, and there's other areas I still want to go. I still want to go to the peninsula, Door County. I've heard reports there. So, I mean, it's like the possibilities are endless. Plus, I might be going 4th of July weekend to the Driftless area. This is only probably like the third time I've been to the Driftless area, but that was those were years ago. When there were tourist attractions and stuff like
Right,
that to see,
right,
not
right,
for watching.
right.
I got a friend that lives out in the Driftless area, and we might hang 4th of July weekend and get the shit scared out of us, from what I'm hearing. So, but
So,
we'll
so
see. I'm looking forward to that, and then I might be going completely out of state sometime this summer.
oh, cool.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, hopefully checking out Pennsylvania for the first time.
Pennsylvania's a hot spot.
Allegory. What is that? The
The
Allegheny?
Allegory Forest, Allegheny
Allegheny.
Forest. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's always been kind of like on my bucket list next to Hocking Hills in Ohio.
Right,
But it doesn't matter as long as I'm somewhere in Pennsylvania. The hot spot is central, northern central Pennsylvania. It would be cool. So we'll see what happens. In the future with that.
right,
So, but it was nice, out of the blue to get the LBL out of the way
right,
and
right.
and Mammoth.
I wanted to ask you about that, the LBL. How many times have you been to the LBL? Twice, 3 times, or once only?
It was just that one time only. And we got
Do you
such
wish
a
you spent
late
more time
start.
there? Do you wish you got to spend more time there to investigate,
I Yeah, because I
or
mean
you think
we
you
were
seen everything you were going to see in the short time you were there?
um n- n-
Did you get any
I don't
strikes?
think.
Did you get any strikes where you felt some kind of tension, intrigue, or like your body there
No,
shaking? Anything
it was
inside?
so it was in March. Okay, so
Right,
none of the
right.
foliage,
Oh,
that
that was cold.
vegetation was on the ground, and
Right,
it was some beautiful starry nights, jet black. I mean, there's no lights whatsoever
right, right,
on the trace or any other things. And we took every road because we were on the north end, and she says, "You really want a picture of that sign?" I says, "Yeah." So we took every little tributary all the way up. We got to the north headquarters, and I'm like, "Shit, the sign's not there." And she says, "Well, let's go to the south."
right.
So we went to the south one and every little tributary and road that branched off in between. And at times we sat there, in the pitch black and
Right,
just
right,
watched
right.
for any sign.
I remember
And I
checking.
told her, I said, "Man," I told her it was dead. I said, "It's fucking dead here."
Right.
But I said, I'm still enjoying it. So then we went to the south end. There was a sign. We took our pictures by the sign. And then, I don't know, got home 1, 2 in the morning, had breakfast. And I said, fucking crashed by 4, But,
Wow.
you know, watching those two researchers, that couple that's on,
Yeah, Jesse.
oh,
There. Yeah, I know who you're talking
yeah,
about. Holler.
Hellbent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
holler. Yeah. I
I
asked
like
her
what they're,
recently. I asked her
I
recently.
like what they're doing. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I said, you've
What'd you
been there
ask?
3 times or something, right? I said, do you think there's anything there? I said, right? She said there's something there. Okay. I said, okay, all right. Is it a big lie or is there something really there? I said, so they really believe
Oh,
there's something there. Okay. So if they believe, that's good enough, I guess, right? Who are we to doubt somebody else's,
they believe that there's nothing there.
pardon me?
No, you
Right.
said they believe that there's
No, no, no.
nothing
They
there.
believe there's something there.
Oh
They
yeah,
they
oh
believe
yeah,
there's
because
something
they're
really there.
covering up. There's so much covering up going on. It's not even
Right.
freaking
And I
funny.
think the government is
You know.
interfering. They're taking away anything that moves in that park system. I think they've got things tagged, most likely. And if you come within a certain area, they move you. They'll move the creatures out somehow, force them out. Just to keep people
Yeah,
safe. I don't think there will ever be another attack on a person in that park in the short run, right? Possibly, by a dogman type creature. I think the government is making sure nothing happens, right?
yeah. I believe that, but then you also,
But you can
what's
have
the statistic? What
right.
are the statistics behind missing persons there? That's the big question.
That is
You
true.
know, but
Yes, right.
but they could very well be, taking them out
It could
as
all
they
be an
see them.
elaborate story, Sure, the guy, the kid who was hidden the transmission little cubby hole there under the tranny, it could have
Oh
been a
yeah,
setup, could have been you don't know. It could, like I said, I still think there were some kind of handlers for these creatures. Like in my case, I think there was a secret handler somewhere who released these creatures, or in that.
well, or accidentally release the creatures. I think
Accidentally, yes, and lost track of them temporarily, possibly.
Yeah,
Like
well, yeah, and then you hear other stories about the CIA making these types, with humans,
for
where
sure.
eventually, you know, they implant them with something, and eventually the genetic makeup mutates, and then before you know it, you got half and half inside of a human being, and they lose them. They allegedly lost them. They can't track them anymore. What do you mean you can't track them anymore? You know,
That's what
it's so
people
stupid.
right.
So, what
We're,
kind of information are you really, you know, how accurate is this information?
that was like the ones I
You're smart enough. You're smart enough to implant something and build something and program the damn thing, but you can't control it. Oh, it just got, it just got loose, or, oh, it's out of control. I mean, how does that happen? you know, but then again, you got robots. You got robots in Japan or China where they were controlled by satellite, and when the satellite malfunctioned, apparently these robots just tore the crap out of like 29 scientists, you
wow.
know,
Right,
just
right.
like that. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. No
Anything
protocol, no safety measures in place.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying
It's
to
just
say.
just
You
one
know,
big oops.
the one I seen, it looked too like it looked like a human was transformed into a wolf. Like like the other one I seen, it looked like a dogman creature. Whereas the first one, it was like a human. It was almost like sort of it had human like features, right? It almost seemed human, part human.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And the way it strolled in, like I knew the other two I seen. You know, the big black ones. They're the 8.5, 9 foot ones. They're interdimensional. You know, from the portal and that. Whatever. I understood that. Okay, right? They were
Right.
scary, but I understood they were dimensional beings. Okay, right? This other one,
Mm-hmm.
it was a physical creature. Do you know what I mean? But it didn't telepath me. It didn't use any communication. It only growled at the end, you know, and it just it was so weird. It almost seemed like subhuman. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
even though it had a real wolf's head, you know, it just seemed like more human like than wolf like. Do you understand? Same with the
Oh
hands,
yeah.
feet, the oversized
I'd
feet.
like to see a. I
I'm
wish you
trying
that
to get a
can.
sketch going one day of
Yeah.
this. You know? I've
Yeah.
been trying to,
That would
you
be great.
know, right,
Of the two different types, that would be awesome.
right. You know, the classic Dogman Hawks there, you know, and all that, you know. Whereas this one,
Mm-hmm.
it looked like a human running across that fucking field, man. And then, you know, some kind of illusion magic, right? Lose your illusion,
Right.
you know, right? I still think a lot of that is going on, right? The
Oh
illusion,
yeah.
right? You
Oh yeah.
know,
There.
or like I said before, I had the
Yeah.
shapeshifter
There's a. There's,
at a campsite. I was camping, and these people. You know, I'm waiting for a friend. I'm trying to reserve the site next to mine for my friend to show up, right? And he never
right.
showed up, but these two chicks showed up and wanted the site next to us, right? And holy smokes! And you know, and they tried to, you know, hypnotize me with some music and all kinds of weird shit was going on,
Wow.
you know, in that. And yeah, and you know, and I had in the middle of the night, I had a vision, you know, when I went and laid down, that I was running with the pack of wolves. Yeah, like, you know, I was sort of like I got naked and ran with the wolves. Do you know what I mean? Like they were outside my
Jeez.
tent
Yeah.
waiting for me, and I took my clothes off and ran with them, you know, right? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit! I'm like, and then I came back and I was laying down, right? And like, what am I doing? But you know, you know, it was in my dream though. You know, like, but the dream seems so real though. You know, do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Right? It seemed like out of body,
That-
right? And it was weird. And then in the morning, when you know, I seen the one lady, and I said, "Where's your friend?" Because I seen her in the dream. Right? Something happened. She changed.
Mm-hmm.
Right in the dream and attacked somebody. Okay, some rowdies across the way there at the other site and stuff, and something happened. Right, I can't say right now because it's going into the book, all this info, but I'm just
Right.
getting a basic description. So yeah, and I seen her involved, right, attacking this person because then later, Buddy goes, "Your friends had you know, blah 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 attacked me and you know did something and that." And I'm like,
Huh.
whoa. I'm looking at him. I said, "No, man, my friend's out cold. He didn't move all night." I said, "I guarantee you, he was out cold. He drank whatever 9, 10 beer, or whatever." And those Elvis songs put him out. I said, right? Playing Elvis card, right? Because they threw beer bottles at my friend. They didn't like his singing and playing. So, right? So it was his acoustic guitar. So fucking whatever. He went over there, marched over there like Frankenstein. Fucking, you know, right? Scared the bejeebers out of him. Right? And then whatever. But yeah, so something happened later. They were being obnoxious. They're from Brazil, these guys. So in that and their girlfriends, and they had a ski boat, and the ski boat got scratched up in the middle of the night by someone, you know. I said, "No, my friend didn't hit you, and he didn't do that. He's out cold." I said, "Fucking, you know," and me, you know, it wasn't you. And he said he described the person that did it, and I knew exactly who he was talking about. He was talking about one of the women, right? And he
Yep.
would have
Yep.
never
Yep.
believed it was
Yep.
a woman who fucking decked him hard, you know, who changed into
Yeah.
a wolf creature and hit him hard, man, and scratched his fucking vehicle up and everything. And I seen this in the dream, in this weird out of body type reality dream, you know. And I did, and
That's
there were
crazy.
like half a dozen wolves outside my tent, and I got out and I took off my clothes and I ran 20 minutes, a half an hour, whatever with them, and came back and said, "I got to go back and lay down now. I'm tired," right? Or something. Yeah, it was a
But
weird
it's like that.
dream. That was a weird dream. And then when I woke up, I'm dressed, right? Okay. So I never, I don't know, I must have put my clothes back on or something because I don't remember taking them off. And I was scared because I was thinking maybe some kind of mating, some weird, black magic ritual mating, some kind of, what do you call those
That's what it
shapeshifter?
sounds like.
No, I was actually scared, man. Like, like, are they trying to
Yeah.
use me for some kind of ceremony or something? Maybe they sense
Right.
my
Right.
energy. I'm a seer or whatever, and they can sense my energy and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I did see
I
the
get
one
it.
lady, in the morning when I said, "Where's your friend?" Oh, she's in the tent. She's coming out now. So I went up there right up to the tent, and she comes out, and I called her name. She comes out, and she still had a wolf head, right? A wolf face and head. And then 3 seconds later, right in front of me, it changed to her human form, right in front. And I said, "Your secret's safe with me." I tell her, right? What else can I say? After I seen
Right.
her, what she did to the fucking person in the dream, right? And that, I have to. And for 20 years, yeah, her secret was safe with me. I've only been recently talking about it, right? I was
Mhm.
scared. Like, what the fuck did these people want with? Why'd they want my, what me? And I swear I was all day. I was waiting for my friend, and my best friend, a best bud, and then he passed away a couple of weeks later and I told him you have to come to the site. You have to come. It's important. Like your life depends on it, sort of thing. And he never showed up, my friend. And then 2 weeks
Wow.
later, he's dead. He died in a car accident and tragic. But yeah, so weird. But I was telling my friend, I went to his work and picked up the ice and that, and I could read his face and eyes, and I told him, you have to come up north. Never mind, I know you have a new kid, a wife and a brand new kid, and this and that, young kid, blah blah blah, all that shit. It don't matter. Your life depends on it. You gotta get your parents to look after it. Whatever you need to come up. You need to spend a couple hours
Wow.
a night here. And I tried my damnedest to save his life, and I couldn't. I tried and tried,
Damn, dude. That
and
sucks.
I couldn't do it. It's destiny, like the three fucking witches with the fucking string there. Sorry, fuck you. I tried to extend that string. No, sometimes it's destiny. How you get to
Yeah.
say and stuff like that. And I tried my damnedest to save my bud's fucking life, get him to come there and no, and somebody was reading that energy for these, and I was vibrating. I'm sitting there in the lawn chair or whatever, and boom, boom, boom. Every time a car drove by, I'm like, "Was this?" I'm waiting for my friend. It's like, and it was funny. I was sensing my friend, but it was like something was blocking. Like somebody was putting up a huge block, like
Uh-huh.
So his energy, good energy, wasn't coming through. Do you know what I mean? Connect with me,
Oh
right?
man.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
kept getting other weird fucking shit. And I had to keep putting up fucking umbrellas fucking trying to deflect these fucking things, fucking trying to hold that sight for my friend, right? And
God, that sounds so darn familiar of something I heard recently with that block. Oh, no, I know what it is. Oh geez, how does it go? It's well, anytime my friend wants to find some truth out around what's going on around her property, all of a sudden, she'll get not zapped, but it'll get to a situation where complete memory loss. You know
oh
what I mean?
wow, really?
Instant, dude, instantaneous memory loss. Yeah. You know, and it's just, you
That's
know, I don't
I,
even know if I asked them about implants, but I don't, it never surfaced, that never surfaced. But that's the
yeah,
first thing on my mind. I mean, what,
that's interesting. It's good.
or you're when you lose time, you lost time, um
Time continuum, yeah. Who knows? Yeah, I believe that one. For sure. The space and time. Well, oh, come on, dude. All right, hold on. Space and time, yes.
I,
That happens.
I
That
went
happens.
out.
Sorry. Yeah,
I
sorry.
wonder how crazy this force is going to get. I mean, it's fine right now, but you got different colored types of
What's the biggest creature in
you
your
got
Wisconsin? Is that a black bear
you
or?
got I'm not seeing any orbs yet, but you got at least two different, possibly three different types of freaking fireflies around here.
Do you have black bears where
Really,
you live? Black bears?
no, not. We get an occasional stray one,
Okay, so I think
but they're starting to become seen more.
okay.
As far as tracking them, how many are actually in southeastern Wisconsin? It's hard to say. Could there be two? And then
Do you have
y-
cougars?
you hear some reports in the springtime, when they come down, the boars come down,
Do you have
but then
cougars?
all of a sudden, we have occasional cougar sighting. In fact, I think the population is, I mean, I think they thrive here as far as the numbers. We could have, God, I think a friend of mine posted something. We could have, I don't, what was it? Well, at least a
Yeah.
1,000 cougars,
Right, right.
but I've never encountered them. I found a footprint, um, around in southeastern Wisconsin. I found a suspect footprint. And after that, then I started carrying bear
Right,
spray.
right,
But then,
right.
it just kind of, you don't see the prints anymore. So I don't know. I just don't carry the shit anymore on me. It's always in my van, but I don't, you know,
Right.
it is what it is,
That's
you
cool.
know, but, I always got there's always enough intel out there. There's always enough info where you're going to catch something. And then, to be on your guard, you know what I mean? Which
Right, right,
for a lot
right.
of people, that sounds kind of stupid, but that's the way I roll. I'm like doing the concealed carry and all that crap. I don't get into that
No, I don't either.
unless I need to. If it starts getting that dangerous, then it's like I might have to, but nah, it's not even close. To ever, I don't think I won't even see it in my lifetime ever being that way.
Right,
But
right.
we'll be going up to the Buckhorn State Park. It's in central Wisconsin, in about a month, less than a month. And there's a resident black bear there. I think she has two cubs. So yeah, it's going to be
Cool.
interesting because we'll be doing some night hiking there and kind of, I don't know, maybe be on guard. I'm not necessarily sure about the bears'
Right.
nocturnal behavior.
Cool.
I just don't, I don't hear enough about it. So
Okay. I just want to
I
say,
just know they're unpredictable.
all
You just got to watch them because they'll
right.
circle around you
I just
and
want to
stuff
say
like
hello.
that. But
Okay, hold on, Mike. We got to say hello to the people in the chat here. John P. Adventures. Hello, my friend. How you doing? And Martha Duncan. Hello, Martha. Good to see you. All the way from Alberta, Canada, home of the Sasquatch. Right, Martha there. Where's the Canmore? We have cougars wandering. That's cool. Right on. Thank you. Spotted on doorbell cams and trail cams. Right. I had two Sasquatch encounters there in Alberta myself. So back to back, right? Up in the north end there, suburbia on the outskirts of Calgary, so I was lucky.
yeah,
Right? I did not
that's really
expect it.
cool.
I didn't know, I didn't think there was black bears there, and I didn't think there was, I thought black bears were more up in the mountains, that not
Right.
that not that close. Well, I was wrong, but it was drought time, so drought season, so or whatever, late summer, so it brought them into the suburbs more, the animals, so
Oh yeah.
cougar and that. And that's where I had the thing there, the immovable force, where I couldn't put 1 foot forward, like, even move it an inch forward, but I could only go backwards to back up and go the other opposite way. It was like a brick wall. I couldn't, I was on my mountain bike getting ready to leave, right?
Yeah.
Bigfoot. Yes, Kananaskis region, of course. We were camping in the Kananaskis region, like she mentions in the comments there. Cool. Patsy Trigg, I made it. Is that your friend, Patsy Trigg? Michael?
Oh yeah, hi. How you
Right,
doing?
right.
Cool.
I'm just
Nice.
lining up myself. Cool. Thank you. Cheers. Peace.
Awesome.
Right on. Cool. Right on.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you.
her time zone is different. She's down in Australia.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like
Okay.
14 hours
Right.
difference. So
Right on. I
it's
made
around going on noon down there or something like that.
it.
Yeah.
Right. We have Black and Grizzly. Right on. Right on. Blackbeard. Right on. Yes. Yeah. And you also have Bigfoot and Sasquatch or
Hee
whatever.
hee hee. Hee hee, Patsy.
Cool.
That's the first one
Michael's a
that I
wealth
know
of
of.
information, man. He knows a lot. You know a lot, Michael, about the woods. You go
Yeah.
to different. You've been to different campgrounds and parks and all that. You know, but
Oh yeah.
right,
It's fun, dude. It's just so fun and good. You know what I mean? It's just wow.
right,
And
right,
and you're just like nobody. It's like, does anybody have any clue I'm here? You know what I mean? It's like, does anyone know how gorgeous this is? Does anyone know how creepy the hell it is? Does anyone know how close I'm just ready to hang up and say, I'm done. I just got the
right.
poop scared out of me a couple years ago where I just felt the whole forest staring at me and I'm like, I want to go home right now and never return,
Right.
you know. But
I had
it's
one
just
of those.
but
Yeah,
you always go back for more. It's like a little adrenaline rush.
I
I mean,
had
it's
that
just
happen on a trail. I was followed by a Sasquatch and who wasn't being friendly, and wouldn't communicate or any like what's up. And it's scary. Yeah. And once I hit the clearing, I ran to the building. I'm not waiting to find out because I was privy to seeing something a couple years previous,
mhm,
right? Of a dash from the trail where I was on to the wood to the gorge, right? It was about a
right.
100-foot dash, right? And I seen something like looked like running on three legs and holding something underneath it. And then I was going, that's a funny looking bear. And then I realized that's no fucking bear. That's a fucking Sasquatch running on three legs and tucking something underneath its arm, right? What it was, I don't know,
Wow.
a young or something else. And I just happened to be standing at the right angle as it went by. I just my memory caught something, like at first I said your memory saying bear, you're programmed to say bear, right? But then something says not bear, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I understood what was happening, right? Same with this time, I knew. Okay, what do you want with me? I know the gorges. You grabbed me. Why are you following me? And what do you want? I was really scared, man. The only time I've been really terrified of a Sasquatch. Even the dog
You
man
know
and that,
something?
I stood my ground. But this Sasquatch, 8, 9 feet, no, he projected fear, and I was
God damn.
scared. Yeah, and it's close to a gorge that they said
You
I'm a
know something?
big guy, 250 pounds. They could still drag me off, when you're 800 fucking
Hmm.
pounds, 1,000 pounds, and it's only a quick fucking jaunt to the fucking gorge. But I don't know why he followed me on that public trail, and scared the shit right out of me.
Well, I don't know, escorting you out, maybe.
Maybe, but a couple years later, there was a missing 411 right from that same area, and then the girl went missing right from that same spot where I had that, that was followed, right? A girl went missing.
Jesus.
Yeah, so who knows? Like I'm saying,
Damn.
Yeah, I
That's
wasn't there.
crazy.
So I don't know what happened, but but I seen enough strange shit in conjunction with how close that gorge was. That it'd be easy to snatch someone and do the short jaunt to the gorge and disappear with somebody off a trail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can
Yeah.
run on
What?
three. You ever see like the bluff charges where they're down on all fours, sort of galloping? Well, that's what this looked like. And what?
Mom,
Dude, what did you What did you do?
Oh, I got excited. I broke my chair.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, you must have a little Italian in you.
yeah, Greek.
Yeah,
Oh, Greek
audio Greek.
energy.
Yeah, they're just as
Yeah,
bad.
I put the energy into the encounter. Wow, man. Wow, something like slap me. It felt like, man. Holy fuck. That was a. Yeah, don't worry
Oh
about.
my
I got a
God.
good chair. Don't worry about that. It did. It felt like somebody whacked me, man. Holy fuck. I shouldn't be talking about certain things, you know. Fucking
Maybe.
fuck. Oh, holy smokes, that was loud.
Oh my God! Yeah,
That was a lot big. Yeah, it was like a big clap of energy I went through me, man. Holy fuck! It pushed me down,
I
man.
didn't know what that was.
Boom!
Man. I was like,
Fucking,
That's what it seemed like.
fuck.
right? And I'm like, what's that noise?
That's what
All
it
that
seemed
noise,
like.
the
Here,
energy.
look up there.
What?
Jesus picture.
Wow, my Jesus picture. Holy shit! Hold on. Wow.
What?
A face up there. Where's my camera? I didn't take this picture. Hold on. This thing got blown right up. My picture got pushed right up to the ceiling. I'll take a picture and show you later, okay? Hold on.
Yeah.
Before I
Well,
fall
that's
asleep.
tripped out.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Come on. Let's go. Weird. That was so fucking weird, man.
Oh, I know.
Here, I'll take a quick picture. All right. I took a picture.
That scared me, man.
I'll show you, yeah, after. I'll see why. Yeah, weird. Holy fuck, the energy. I swear to God, man. I felt like somebody slapped me down, man. You know? And the chair sounded freaky, man. When the chair hit the fucking ground, boom, and it exploded. Fucking, right?
What's the chair made of?
Fucking teak
What?
wood. Teak
It's
wood.
what?
Heavy teak wood.
Oh,
Heavy
that
teak wood.
that ain't gonna break that easy.
No, it's a heavy teak wood. It's heavy. It's like 100, about 30 pounds, at least 40 pounds, maybe 20, 30 pounds.
Huh.
Heavy teak wood. You know, like you see the restaurant style, you know, big steakhouse.
Oh yeah.
Chairs, like,
Right.
Holy fuck, man. I swear to God, it felt like somebody slapped me. You know, your chair breaks, you go backwards or whatever. This felt like somebody slapped me down to the ground.
You seem to. You looked like you went forward. Did you go forward or just down?
I went down and forward, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I went straight down to the ground, but my chair went kaboom. Like I got pushed down to the ground. Fuck it. That was a weird experience. Anyways, I'm okay.
I don't know what kind of seat you to suggest next time. I don't know.
I was
what about
getting into whatever I was explaining. I put a lot of energy into that, and so I think I exploded myself. Fucking, you know, I did. I was relaying whatever I was talking about there. I put a burst of energy, like emotion or some energy, adrenaline, whatever, and it just sort of felt like kaboom! The fucking chair exploded under me. Fucking energy. Trust me, I had.
May the Fourth.
Recently, we went to the woods and had a Sabe experience and met my Sasquatch guy, my new one, Berlin. So, which I didn't think I was going to have any action, but I was surprised. I had a lot more action than I expected recently. So, you know, sometimes you don't know if you're going to even have any action. Sometimes, right? All right, hold on. What happened here?
So how many viewers are there? I don't see it on my end.
You're 6 right now. We all witnessed that. See? Right. Wow. Wow. Yeah, it felt like an external force slapped me down, man. I'm telling you. I was generating my own force, telling whatever the story, and I just exploded, whatever. Like, I don't know. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. That was strange. I'll watch the replay later on and try and make sense of what happened, if possible. Hold on.
So now you gotta stand the rest of the show.
No. And the pass that chair over.
What, mine?
Stop. Just for a minute. No. I was just. My ass is sore, fucking smacking down on the fucking ground. That's why I'm still standing.
What am I gonna fuck?
Oh, stop. We're only on for another 10 minutes.
Oh,
Oh, thank you. Wow. Yeah. Wow. My ass is still sore, man. Fuck.
well, if this episode doesn't get 2 million views, I'm gonna
It's got it.
shit.
It's also after the fact of views. People will watch. Thank you. Yeah. The force be with you. That's right. That's what it felt like, man.
Yeah.
Oh, we do. If you know how to generate your own energy in that through meditation, breathing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I know I don't practice meditation too much lately, but I do know how to bring that through your stomach and
Through
that,
your gut.
yeah, bring all that energy forth, and I have to be careful I don't explode, but
Man.
wow. I'm telling you, yeah. When you're sitting on a Greyhound bus and you're vibrating and everyone's looking back at you, fucking, you're sitting there by yourself and you're fucking vibrating energy, Oh yeah, they can tell, fucking. And so it's through meditation. If you it takes you, So I've had some long trips. I got to practice my meditation,
My friend Andy's seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it will. Don't worry. Wow, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. That freaked me out, man. Holy fuck. I'm awake.
Well, I'm just glad you're not hurt. Shoot.
No, I'm fine. That's what I was wanting. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it just, it's like the chair just went kaboom right under me. Fucking went exploded like away from me, and I went right to the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no chair under me. I went right to the fucking ground. It's like I pushed the chair away.
It was like it was so much on cue with your response and your emphasis of the response. It was just like, man, dude.
You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, Patsy says she hopes your arse gets better soon.
It will, man. The old man's fucking lit it up a few times when I was younger, so it's tough.
So where were we anyway? No,
I don't know. I got lost. What were we talking about when the chair exploded, hon? Oh God. I don't remember. Let's pick something new. Yeah, I was talking about something about one of the encounters, and then right. Which encounter was it?
Important what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I don't know.
It's important to know what you're talking about.
I'll look it up later, Heather, on the rewind, man. Frequency, yeah. Paranormal Smackdown for sure. That's funny, yeah.
God, right?
Right on.
Yeah.
We were talking about what? Bigfoot jumping you. Yeah. About so they don't want me talking about that, the missing 411 case and that, and I did. I put a lot of energy because I said I felt like, I was scared. I felt like, there was no communication and I felt like I was at jeopardy, and that emotion,
right.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was that needs to be dissected a little bit.
Right.
What that Bigfoot's intentions were.
Right. It's hard to tell because he wasn't communicating, but I felt negative energy and a lot of negative. It's like he didn't want me there, and at what cost?
It's like there's a what is that? The section of Yosemite where guys on a trail and then this foggy mist settles in onto the trail.
Right.
And this just he couldn't see it, but there was this nasty, huge. He sensed this nasty, huge being, you know, with the heavy footfalls and everything coming
Right.
towards him, and he got out of Dodge, you know, and more or less, like, to this day, he don't know what it was, but you know, he was I think he was coming to get him and snatch him, you know.
Yeah, you never know. Most likely, right?
I mean, to think that you are not going to experience anything when you're out there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're surrounded by 4 of them, or
Right.
just one nasty one, and it's just like your whole body goes numb. And I swear, man, it's like, just take me now. I'm already committed mentally for this. I can't even feel myself fucking walking out of the forest. My
Right.
my from the waist down, I'm numb. It's like, just do it now. If you're gonna do it, just do it, you know. And it's just like, and then you make it out of there, and it's just like, you know, I mean, yeah.
For sure.
I can't imagine some of these experiences people have, just outright, you know,
Yeah, for
shake
sure.
you to the bone. You know, I mean, you know, I wouldn't want a big, you know, tree of 10-inch diameter comes sailing towards my head. You know,
No, I didn't touch it.
Okay, hold on.
but you never know.
I'm trying to go to bed.
Can you give me some water, please? Hold on. Yeah,
Sit down
is that?
for a minute, Tom. I'm doing something.
Oh, sorry. Okay, hold on a sec, please. Let's play. Can I play a quick video here? 1 sec. All right, hold on. Let's take a break for 2 minutes here. I'll get some water. All right, hold on. Just a quick video. You like music?
I wish I knew what that sound was. I'm hearing more sounds on my left.
Yeah.
Shut
Really?
up. Oh, never mind.
Okay, hold on. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, this one. All right, the knuckles, the gorilla with the knuckles. See the knuckle prints, you know, how they walk. See how they walk with their toes, like, you know, like you know, people are looking for the whole print, but these guys are walking on 2 toes or something, you know.
Yeah.
Even though they're 400 or 500 pounds, 350 to 500 pounds, they're walking on their toes, and they rock their back feet. See how they rock side to side, so you're only getting a partial footprint. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like you know, like the side. It looks like something's being pushed into the side, you know. In that too.
Yeah, I've seen the knuckles
See
before.
the knuckles? See how the knuckles get pushed down, right? They get pushed down, right? Well, Sasquatch is known to do the same thing sometimes, you know, right? That, right.
Good stuff, Tom.
Yeah, I'd have a couple, not many, but 2 or 3 of these. And I noticed, yeah, that's why we were checking in the mud for partial prints, you know. Thank you, Heather. Thank you so much. Right, partial prints, you know, in that. And it takes. You see how wide spread the gorilla's toes are? It's like almost like a Y, you know, a Y, like, you know, like a V. I mean,
yes,
V, right? Yeah,
yes,
strange.
but.
Almost like a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ready to.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach. Yeah. Upper body and those some strange fingers and toes. Yeah. Left hand curled up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. Yeah. That's cool. Right on. Get something to learn and know, you know, and different parts of the anatomy, and too, where they hold the young, you know, out like about a foot or 2 from themselves, like up at face level, to hold the young. You see that? Sasquatch do that too, you know, and you see images, yeah, especially interdimensional images of adult with young, like, you know, like you know, same as the humans holding their kids out at face level, you know that, yeah, that's amazing. In that, Same thing. Yeah. Left rear toes dug in for lift. Yes. And see, there's where they rock. See the side there where they rock
Mhm.
it. Yeah, they're famous for that. Same with Sasquatch. That's why you don't see people say the prints. No, they're not. They're walking, side to side like that. So you're not seeing a flat print. You're seeing a partial
Mhm.
print, and that and it's probably that's from a firm part of their foot, and it's not going to leave much of a mark, possibly. So
Right.
that's how they might have, you think 1 minute their footprints disappear, they're just walking differently, possibly, or
Oh,
doing
lately, I mean, this year, um, and I'm sure it started too last year, but started to find more and more of the super soft prints. They're just suggestions of prints,
right,
It's
right,
not that heavy footfall, just bam, 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 but it's
right.
super light, super soft. But you can't, it's like you can't take a picture of it because nobody will see it but you. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes,
nobody,
yes, of
you,
course.
you'd have to try to circle it and all this shit after the fact.
Hmm.
This one time I took twigs and I went around a print and had, and I'm always wondering why it's so light footed lately in some of these areas I go, very light footed, and is it the leaf litter? Is it the, pine needle litter or is it something else,
Right.
or, yeah. eh,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember now we were talking about the shapeshifter and shit before the chair exploded. We were talking about the shapeshifter and my friend who didn't show him. Yeah, I felt like, could have been, supernatural force slapped me down to stop talking about this stuff. So or whatever, the energy built up, man. It was emotion, raw emotion. I was upset. My friend, I said I tried to save his life, but I couldn't. And that then
right.
the chair exploded under me. Fuck. Yeah. I remember now. Yeah, yeah. Fucking. Oh, yeah. So you never know. Like I said, you build up energy inside of you. Mind over matter,
Hmm.
right? Mind over matter. What don't mind don't matter, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. I seen two of us try to lift a transformer onto a van, 400 pounds. We couldn't do it. The one guy, the hillbilly cock and biker there, dude. Yeah, okay, boom, right up on the van, no problem by himself. I said, how the fuck did you do that? We couldn't. He said, mind over matter. And he taught me. And he taught me, the technique, how to do it, taking time, and tell me, keep going, dig deeper from your gut, and your legs and your back, it's lift, and
Oh, sure. Yeah.
over matter,
Yeah.
you can do it, you can do it, you know, and then,
Hmm.
little by little, I did it one day, I lifted it up and I'm like, wow, okay. So I wasn't that strong. Right. When you start thinking about, real big, tough superheroes, human superheroes, in the past, present, right, what they accomplish, it takes a lot. Same when you're out looking for Bigfoot and Sasquatch and the little people. It's mind over matter, you have to leave a lot of those, like you got to enter sort of like the zone, you know what I mean?
Oh,
The
yeah.
zone, right? That certain zone, and I go to the park and I try to get into the zone and there's noise over here, there's noise over there, there's
Oh,
people
sure.
yelling all around, surrounds
Oh,
that. And I'm like, no, I'm
yeah.
going here, there. I can't get in. Then finally I'm going, please, please, spirit guides, help me, right? Cut the noise out, right? Little
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they said okay. They led me over to this section, and then slowly I made my way back, and things it did. It calmed down.
I can
The noise
relate.
settled down. Then I
Definitely,
started
Tom. Yep.
sensing, tuning in, getting to that next level, and
Yep.
that right. Same with you,
That's exactly how it works for me,
right? No,
I cannot stand all that commotion around me. And
yeah,
then once you get to that quiet spot, that it's like it's game on. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
time,
for sure.
and that and yeah. Um,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
but
That's amazing.
so yeah, I don't know what time you want to wrap it up.
If you want to wrap it up
What
now,
time you
we
thinking?
can, or you want to. I'm fine.
Trying to think.
Anything else? You want 11:30? We can call it. 15 more minutes, and that.
Yeah, I'll call it in 15. That sounds good.
All right, sure.
Yeah, that'll be 2.5.
We got
Um,
3 viewers now, but we had 6 viewers. That was good. Uh, had the momentum going there. It was getting exciting, and more people watch after the fact too. Like I said, you got some good views. Last time I hit about 100 something views, and that was amazing. That was one of my best shows ever. You
oh,
and William, yeah, and people like you're
well,
exciting.
that's good.
You're exciting person to have on. It is. And I haven't been consistent running the shows and stuff. It's hard, because like the way I do this one, it's like the energy.
So,
Yeah,
when did you have William on last? From the prior when my first
I think
time
it was a
on.
couple days. It was a couple days after you. So I was riding a
Oh, a
high
couple
crest,
days.
right? And I was riding a high crest. That's when Heather and I went to the park and we did our spiritual healing for Sabe and had that interdimensional experience. I got it on film, a couple photos, right? It was amazing to get that, right? We were actually
That's
made a
great.
connection because of all, had you yourself and a few other people had all the good energy flowing. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
had the encounter and that had the interdimensional encounter, the glyphs and that, incredible stuff. I'll send you a couple photos and stuff.
Yeah,
Little things, the energy,
that would be great.
the smoke, this way, and you can see they weren't there till after with the smoke, and they were there after, for about 10, 15. How long did we film? 19 minutes, 20. That one section, and they're there about 3 minutes, I think. Right, I'll have to look. Anywhere from a minute and a half to 3 minutes, they showed up through the in the trees there, right? And then like they weren't there before,
Yeah,
okay? And after with the smoke, and you could see them. They showed up to say hello, right? If you believe in the
that's really
interdimensional
cool.
activity and that, if not, then I can't help you. But you know,
Right.
right? But it's still something, and it's good because I haven't had that kind of activity for a while. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah. Well,
I
like I
haven't had
said,
I haven't been able
I
to raise my energy levels up that high. And like I said, I had some good guests and good flow of energy and stuff, and that and rode that big time to having an experience down. Like I said, if you believe in whatever, they will come to you, and show
right.
people gifts, rocks, stones, feathers, whatever, signs, and that.
Hmm.
A lot of times I'll acknowledge the gift and put it back down and stuff.
I,
I don't
right.
have room
Yep.
for other people bring everything home. I don't know.
Oh no,
Right. I do.
no.
I do acknowledge the gift and bring it. Sometimes I'll bring a marble or whatever home. Right. Feathers and
Hmm.
that I will just acknowledge and put it back down. Unless it's an amazing eagle feather or something, right? But other bird, I don't
Yeah.
know. It depends. But I also put it on display or somewhere, and I like that. And the stick lifts, I couldn't believe the stick lifts right in front of our gifting tree. We've had this gifting tree for a couple of years, right? And
Nice.
it says, "No, Tom, they're not just there; they're right in front of our gifting tree." And I said, "Holy smokes, you're right! That sign's only for us. You know what I mean?" I said,
Hmm.
that was amazing. Yeah, to get that, in that just where they were, and the little subtle signs in that, it was a good experience, and we hope we can go to a different park and have another experience, a different type, you know,
Yeah.
and
It's just yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
It impacts you in ways that nobody you can't explain, and somebody's got to experience it firsthand.
right.
You know,
The
or if
one,
you tell them it, they're gonna think you're crazy. And it's like no. Eventually, you'll.
Right.
Eventually, if you're meant to, you'll experience it too.
Right. I know what you're saying. Yeah. But yeah, it's like when I seen the dwarf in the park, when just sitting on that thing, and all of a sudden that tree came to life, the portal inside, how I swear, the sound I was hearing sounded like some fucking a giant, like a 6 foot giant, boom, 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 with big heavy boots coming out inside of a tree up a staircase, a spiral staircase, wooden staircase, right, with big heavy
Yeah.
boots on, and then you see. I was stunned to see this little guy emerge. I'm getting ready to see some big ugly giant pop his head out right out of the tree. Right? I'm thinking, right? That's the sound of noise I was hearing. And then when this little guy pops out, a foot and a half, I said, "Where the heck is the fucking giant?" I said, "No, that guy
You
made
know,
noise, right?"
I'll tell you something. You might have struck some gold right now, because there's times where you're walking along, and right coming as you're approaching a tree, you hear that inner tap of the tree, tap 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 tap, and it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens to me um, when I acknowledge a glyph or a structure or something. It's not even, it won't even be a structure. I think it's more of like maybe a tree bent, the bowed trees, or an asterisk, or just something, out of the ordinary like that, and you catch it, and it's like you'll get those tree taps coming from the inside, and then you walk away and it stops.
Right, right.
That must have happened, man, geez, I don't know, about 5 or 6 times so far, and it's just that's big mystery to me. It's like, it's like why is that happening?
That's
And
it.
has anybody else experienced that? Any viewers that are watching,
Right, right, right.
experienced anything like that?
Wow.
And you always think, oh, it's some kind of beetle in there or something. I don't know, but
Like a cicada. Yeah, nah, that's interesting.
yeah, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've put like microphones in the ground to hear the cicadas come emerging or something, and they make some weird noises. Almost sound like machines, almost, right? Right? They got to
Hmm.
crawl through all that dirt and stuff to get to the top, and that, and then their famous songs,
Huh.
and then kaboom, it's over.
Right.
Right? But that's a lot of energy they expend to come out and have fun, and then kaboom, yeah, it's over. Yeah, a lot of energy to expect in that mate and in that and write yourself off. That was interesting. Wow. Yeah, it's a strange world we live in, Michael. I'm telling you, strange. But like I said, you know, I expect, like, Bigfoot or Dogman to slink around corners and hide, from tree to tree as he gets closer to you, right? It's when they start strolling like they own the park, out in broad daylight. That's what scares me, without a worry, that nobody's watching them, right? Tree is talking, maybe. Yeah, maybe, and, that tree was a portal. I know that for a fact, right? So I have to leave in. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you, Patsy Trigg. Thank you.
All right, Patsy. Take
Good
care.
night.
Thanks for
Good night.
watching.
Yes.
I'll
Thank you.
catch up with you later.
Big Hairy Spider, Joe Winnett. Hello, my friend. How you doing? Yeah. Hello, my friend. Thank you. Thanks for showing up. Thanks. Yeah, that's wild, man. Yeah, for sure. And that. Oh, yeah. What was I gonna say here is and I had this weird thought, like, and if they did attack me, what are they gonna do? Chew on my fucking leg, fucking arm? And then somebody says, no, no. I said it looked like he was carrying a shopping bag one day, that dog man. And I said, oh yeah, it was an awful bag. They said, right? what do you mean? Oh, your guts and crap, I said, what? He's going to just split you open and take your guts and leave the rest there. Right. I said, he's going to do all that.
So,
And like, yeah, I never
I have
pictured,
no idea.
if a wild dog attacked you, is it going to really start chewing on you and start eating you or what? Only a wolf would, right? But with a wild dog,
Mhm.
start chewing and, there have been cases of wild dogs, you know, attacking humans and devouring them sometimes,
Oh
but
yeah.
mostly just attacking in that. I don't think humans are that palatable. I like to think,
No.
I don't know, but wolves seem to like humans. All those wolf attacks are on kids and humans there past couple 100 years there, and especially in Europe. Why did those wolves? Why were those wolves more vicious, or were they bigger, or what? I don't understand how they could attack so many kids and carry them. I guess they just have that
Well,
that killer instinct, or what?
when they run, if they run out of food and they look for the weakest
Right?
source next.
That
I
kids,
mean,
right?
yeah,
Or young,
defenseless kids.
yeah, right,
They're not weak, but they size them up.
right.
They
If they
they
grab them by the
completely
neck and break their neck
they
or snap
deplete
their neck,
any food source that's in their area, and then they
yeah,
just I don't know as far as their range is huge though. I mean, their
right,
range stretches thousands of miles, but so all of a sudden now a kid becomes, you know, looks tempting or, tasty to them, or,
and there
I
was
don't
a
know.
lot of, and remember, there was a lot of kids back then, unsupervised, right? Parents, are doing work, especially like, these rural
Yeah.
properties, right? They can't watch every fucking kid. They got a dozen kids running around, right? Well, sorry, yeah, you know, and a lot of these kids are
Hmm.
young, so yeah, I could see that happening, you know, certain extent, but when it's adult people there, I don't know. There's one guy in Canada there. He got attacked outside one of the one of those rural workplaces. There, he went for a walk and to
Oh,
the lake. And,
geez.
pardon me. And
I
he
said,
got
oh,
attacked by a
geez.
wolf pack. Yeah, right.
Fuck that.
Scary to
Yeah.
think about that. It is because when we're growing up, I remember they told you no, wolves don't kill and attack people and all that nonsense, right? They tried to say for 20, 30 years. I guess now the internet has proved them otherwise, right? And it's
Well,
just
it's like the coyotes here, the
yeah,
coyotes that they don't stroll around areas in the open in a pack. You know what I mean? They just you might see a stray every now and then, a single stray, but most of the time they're just huddled, it seems, in family groups in the woods, where it's inaccessible. I mean, you could probably access it if you wanted to, but unless like maybe if you were, hunting or something, and then you
right, right.
came across it, but they would sound the alarm before you got there. So,
Of
but
course.
yeah, it's just, and thank God, I mean, I wouldn't want to be walking along a path and then here comes four coyotes, and they're strutting along. It's just like on a hunt, it's like, oh, you know,
Right.
no,
I remember seeing one
no,
time we went fishing and I seen a little one there follow me around there from car to car, and like, what does this thing want? It was weird. It was almost like the mystical ones, mystical coyotes, where
mhm,
they're like they work for the Bigfoot or something or whatever. Some I was told, right? You know,
yeah,
it's hard to explain. These little mystical little coyote pups. There's no other one around. It's just this little miniature pup, right? It looks like a pup, but and I said, why is this following me around? It was freaking me out, like why is this pup? Or it looked like a pup, but I don't think it was, right? it was strange, right? This little coyote following you around or something, and it had a certain look and energy about it. Is it a shapeshifter? Is it something? Who is this? If there's one pup, there should be three. My attitude.
Mhm.
Right? Why is this one pup here? And there's no parents anywhere, nothing. What's going
Huh.
on? It didn't seem like a coyote. It seemed like it's hard to explain. Like it's like it was like a mystery coyote. Like
Yeah.
if
But
you ever had one of those experiences, like you see something, but it doesn't really look like a coyote. It's a coyote, but it's not acting like a coyote. It's strange, right? It's like
I noticed a deer like that. He's just staring at me and he wasn't moving. It's like, dude, we had a stare off. It's like, are you done yet? And then it was starting to creep me out. It's like, I'm just staring at this thing, and I'm not caught up in the gaze, but I mean, we locked eyes for quite some time
right,
because I stumbled upon a what do you want to call it, like a mock fire ring. There was literally stones around there, and then I around the outside perimeter in a circle, and then I believe there was two white stones in the center. This was off trail.
I've seen that picture.
I
Those pictures, yeah,
yeah. It's what was on one of my cover photos, and I just
yeah,
enhanced it with some color and shit. But
right.
yeah, when I just got done taking pictures, and I turned around, I look up, and there's this deer just staring me down. And I'm just like, there was something peculiar about him. And when I took pics of it, he's got like a caveman face in one of them. I took like 3 pics, and in one of
Wow.
them, it looks like he's got a caveman looking face, not a deer face. It's like, all 3 pics, you should look like a deer, but you don't. It's just,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And
I, I
that's the
believe
trippy
that.
woods with the 13-foot high saplings stuck in the
Right,
ground with the roots sticking up, and there's like 8 structures there, and every time you turn around, a new one's formed. I mean, the last ones that I went to last year, they're like 3 of them are gone, completely gone. It's like, what the hell happened? I mean, it was this bent hoop with 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 like 4 sticks leaning up against it on both sides, like a double lean-to. You
right.
just limited amount of sticks, but it was just the strangest looking pattern. It's like nothing. There's no force in nature that can do something like that. It's it was manipulated by something or someone. But
Of course,
yeah,
of
it's
course.
just a yeah. Um. So one of these times when I go back, I guarantee you something else is going to change there. You know.
Yeah,
And do I want to set uh, uh, trail cams up? And it's like, for what? I'm never going to be there in the right place at the right time to catch it. All I
right,
remember is one winter seeing footsteps going from out of the woods, not even the parking lot. It just strolled right along on a on its own path, not following a road or nothing. It just crossed the road, went into the forest, and went directly to that newer structure that I found like 2 winters ago. And it's just like it was weird. It was like it circled around a little bit, and then I don't know if maybe it left and I lost the trail, but
right.
um but other than that, you never catch any human intervention. You never catch anyone in act. I remember one time, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I caught a woman making a structure. You
Oh,
know,
really?
but it was in a wide open. You know, it was in a wide open space, and it's like, well, that's weird. It's just like, why are you doing that? It's like, let the forest be.
That's true.
No,
Right, right. Of course.
but 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 something, when we, like, with that business with the mind speak, it's like only time will tell if it can, if something like that continue, will it continue to mount, or if it's just certain areas of the state that you're going to experience that from these types of beings. You know what
But
I mean?
right, but look, every
That
time
that That's intriguing as shit, you know.
right. The only time, like I said, I never got any names other than, the Sasquatch Council, and they were talking to me with the Mind Speak, but the, there was never any names. Like, like, hi, it's me, Fred, or whatever you call them. No, right? It was always a group, like 3 or 4 of them, the council, right? The Sasquatch
Yeah.
Council, and that's it,
Yeah.
right? And that's why when these, and they never got names and that. So a lot of people will give the Sasquatch they meet a name, right? But it's not the real name, right? And that nothing wrong with that, but and a lot of the conversations, I don't know. Mine were always like I said, Mind Speak was real simple. A sentence,
Yeah.
right? One sentence.
Yeah.
There was no elaborate fucking, world domination or, the theory to this or that. Just simple words, man, to understand. And that's all I wanted. I didn't want
You know
anything
what?
more elaborate,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Myself.
I'm just wondering if the next time it happens, I mean, that last time when they said go, when the voice in my head said, go back where you came from,
Right.
I sensed it right away, and I said, I'm sorry, I
Right.
literally apologized. And it's just one of these times if I'm not too freaked out or in a different state of mind that, can you go back? Can you say something back to them? Well, I did, but it's just like, you know, I don't know. I don't know about
I
asking a
think
name.
when you're ready,
I
I
don't
think
even know if that would.
I'll tell you personally, when you're ready, they will talk to you, a bit
Yeah,
more, when they think you're ready.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
for whatever the agenda is, it's between you and them, right? Whatever and that's how it should be, like, whatever you want to discuss or they want to show you something that they think
Right,
you're ready for, they will, right? If you've already seen or know about certain things, then yeah, it's like I said, it takes years. Like, whatever. Like, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Especially with the
true.
Sasquatch, right? You know,
Yeah,
right? Like I said, I hadn't
and
had one. Go ahead.
and when you go on this quest, this journey, whatever, yeah, I for one, I don't force anything. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't get up in the morning and just like, oh, I need this, I needed this answer and this answer. It's just kind of like
Yes,
it,
yeah,
you think about it, but then it's like it'll come to you. It'll come to you in time.
for sure, for sure.
So, and that's what's good too, because that can you know that's part of vibration, that's part of frequency, and you know keeping it.
Right.
You know,
You know,
you're not helping. You're not helping your journey m- any way, by shape or form, by doing that. It's just whatever happens today will happen today. But I
absolutely.
mean, you get anxious if you see a picture of something, and you go to that location. Yeah, you're excited, you're anxious to see it, but um, you know, you don't. Um, how do you want to put it? Yeah, you don't get too bent out of shape over it if you see it or you don't. But it's you know what I mean. Yeah, you can't get. Yeah, you don't want to get too frustrated over it. It'll be like tomorrow, more or less like tomorrow's another day. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Of
And
course.
that's when things happen, when you understand that.
Right. Like I said, like, it's been, you can get thoughts put into your head that you'll understand a certain situation or scene, whatever, like that. Words alone cannot explain, but you'll get the feeling, the sense of it, and it all makes
Right.
sense after, right? Like, it's not just
Mm-hmm.
words, it's the emotions, it's everything, it's a complete package. You're given a little slice of this, right? Here you go, and you can understand what they're trying to portray or whatever, and
Right.
right. You don't get all these 50, 100 words. No.
Yeah.
You'll get the feeling, the thought process behind it, They're
Hmm.
conveying a message. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing.
Yep.
It's to convey a message, right? You know, you know, boom, boom,
It's just,
simple
yeah.
trade, back and forth, and it works, and then I'm not saying that some people could be more advanced and could have a better conversation and possibly get more info, right? I never wanted the more info for a long time. I always wanted just the bare necessities, bare, give me the info. Thank you. Okay. Have a good day. you know, you know,
Right.
right? Like I said, not even to hang around and I want to be your friend today. I don't know. I've come and I've noticed they're there and I'll wave and then, I'm on
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
way, right? And as a friendly gesture, right? I'm saying hello, right? A simple hello, right? And that some people want more. They want to sit there and be able to talk and read you a book and
Yeah.
all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff, right? And fine, it's
Right.
that's not me, okay? And I'm not,
That
and if but
that's
if
not
you want to
me
do that,
either.
that's up to you, That's fine,
I
as long
just like I just like the good old wave, like you said.
yeah,
You draw. You know what I mean?
yes, keep it simple, and that,
It's like show me something new or something. Show me something different. What did you do? I yeah, that's fine right now. I mean, the way it is.
right. And
I think you might get into trouble if you keep asking too many questions and wanting to be a little too friendly because there's both good ones and bad ones out there.
yeah, I'm always with
So you don't.
caution. Always with caution, Caution.
Yeah.
Make sure you got the right energy, the positive energy,
Mhm.
before you reach out to communicate. Yeah, you got to make sure, make sure it's not negative energy. And if it
Yeah.
is, you say sorry to bother you, and I'm on my way, and, and
Right.
that. And even where I've even interdimensional, I've had to say a couple times, sorry, I took your picture, I shouldn't have, and I will leave, right, and I got that sense we have to leave now,
Yeah.
that energy, right, and I said I shouldn't have took that picture, they didn't, they think you tricked them to take an extra picture or whatever, or some of them don't want their picture taken, right,
Yeah. I
and
don't. I always wonder when I'm done for the day or done
right,
with a location. Just like I don't want to offend them. It's like for uh, like if I go back to that one creek, you know, how are they going to sense me from last time, and how are they going to handle that one?
right,
Um, is it going to be just the same old, oh, here he is again, or is it going to be something on a more aggressive level? But it's who knows when I'll be back there. It was just yeah, but obviously there wasn't much aggression because except for that one chuff or huff, but that was more like bah, just want to scare you, bah, kind of a deal,
right.
your sister comes around the corner and it's just like bah, it's like ha, but then you know, and then you get the voice saying, "Don't be afraid," it's just like
Right.
uh, yeah, just So, well, I suppose. What time is it? We went
It
ran
is
up a little bit.
11:44. If you want to call it peace. Hey, what was that? Hold on. Sorry, my friend
I got
Joe. Was that going
35%.
out? Well, some of the structures are people messing around for whatever reason. Yeah, sometimes, but not always, right? Some of the structures
Yeah,
are
I
real,
believe that.
right? Right. And for what reason? They have reasons. Maybe they're saying this is our home territory. It's a territory sign. Stuff
Well,
like that.
yeah.
Like we
I
live
mean,
here. This is our homes.
I mean, these asterisks you see, where it's intertwined, and it takes some thought to do a weave like that to hold it in place. That it's like, well, fucking human gonna play around with that? I mean,
Right.
I don't see it. I don't sense it.
No, and there's if you look close, there's also weavings and stuff like out of
Yeah.
sticks and leaves up in the trees and that for territory markers, and if you see them, I've seen them in Missouri. I've seen them where else? I know they had them in Missouri and sometimes in Carolina, North Carolina. I've seen them. The sticks, the sticks there in the trees. They're usually woven and stuff, and also the shapeshifters, where you'll see an old person walking down a country road or something, and they'll look at you, talk to you for a second, and then they van.
Yeah.
You look back and they're gone. Supposedly Bigfoot can shapeshift into these old humans. There, like old looking humans.
Mhm.
And that, who knows? And also weavings. There, I've heard of weavings. Like almost like what do you call those dream catchers sort of style, but different.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And giving them passing it to a human, like onto a human for whatever reason. That human lives in that area. That's his property. Trying to let them know that there's creatures there, other entities, other beings, whatever,
Yeah.
and see if he understands, and try, and you give him some mind speak and put those thoughts in there that, the good thoughts, but
Right.
I don't know, that's all, like I said, you have to be a willing participant, like for years, like, when I was younger, I didn't always want to, go along. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be attached to something or whatever, like, like
Uh-huh.
summer school or stuff like anything, Bigfoot, like, trying to teach you stuff, you just wanted to do your thing, whatever,
Right.
And then other years you understood and you endured some of the teachings and learnings or whatever, right? That you were meant
Mhm.
to learn, that they taught you a little by little, you were fed this information into your mind, right? To help along years later, like, whatever, as you progress,
Right.
right? But I had a hard time, absorbing that part of the world. Like I said, I went to my friend's fucking property and they didn't want me there, It wasn't always, oh, hi, friend, come on, hugs,
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah.
No, it was outside looking in,
Right.
a lot of times, and that's how it was. Things are more different nowadays. It's a more openness today. Do you understand? Back when they were
See.
communicating with me 40 years ago, no, it was more closed, closed
Right.
entities, right? Like the feelings
Mhm.
weren't flowing. It was individual. Nowadays, it's more towards the humans, like more energy.
Yeah.
More energy is being sent. Waves of energy are being sent forth, right? Whereas before, it's only certain individuals and limited amounts of energy, right? Because the humans didn't understand. Do you understand? Well,
I.
now with the internet, I
Well.
think there's more openness, more understanding
Right.
compared to
Oh yeah.
the old days, right? It was more closed, and also a lot of shaming
It's
and
it's
ridiculing the other
accelerated
person has gone to
now,
the wayside by now,
exponentially. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. You don't have to deal with that aspect so much. Even like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, it was a hassle a lot of times. 4 or 5 years ago. Now it's not. You know what I mean? Now it's more
Mhm.
accepted. Now, yeah, your family has to accept that. you might have seen Bigfoot, and he might be out there. You know, right? Right. And whatever else is,
Oh, I,
you know, that too, right? You know, there's other things out there, right? You know,
mhm.
so that
Well,
was,
I got yeah, I got an invite. My friend Donna's going to be having the Beast of Bray Road conference in September,
oh,
and then
right.
along with the hayride at Lee Hampel's farm. So yeah, we'll see what comes up with that, how that turns out, and any new info on the Beast of Bray Road, and
Was
I hope
the
it doesn't conflict with the fall camp
right?
out. I got to check that, but yeah, I think
Was
I'll
the
check it out
original
again.
Beast of Bray Road? Was that what? What was that? More wolf or more coyote looking? Was that like a full wolf, like bipedal wolf? Like what did it look like? Like part human, part wolf, or full
You're
wolf? Like a standing wolf, walking wolf sort of thing.
a, a walking wolf, yeah, ears straight up.
Oh, right.
Some interpretations of on the erring on the side of a werewolf, but there's a drawing. I don't know, have I wonder if I still screenshotted it, but there was a drawing of what somebody depicted it as, looking like, and it's more wolf than anything,
Right.
um, wolf to to a dog look, but really intriguing photo illustration, you know,
Cool.
but nothing like a dog, man. No, no. I I, I envision it being like a dog, man, but it's not, you know.
Right. 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 See, like I said, the one
You
I
know,
see in the daytime in the park, he looked like I said, like he strut around like he was Wile E. Coyote, like like thinking, conniving, whatever, man. I'm like, why am I seeing something like that? Are we fed images from our brain from childhood? You watch cartoons, certain things, other shows, and is that how your memory copes? Your mind copes when it doesn't understand a certain scene or something? Do you think, or what?
mm,
No,
well,
possible.
you're showing a lot, of images when you're out, you know, in these different areas. It just, it could, it could have been, I mean, could have been a number of things, really. I mean, it could have been residual energy from prior, meaning that maybe an hour prior it passed through, and you're seeing that energy, the residual energy of it passing through, or it is passing through, and just wants you to see it, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
because the one thing I never talk
but
about is what happened is the night between the three fucking encounters is what happened at night when I went home and slept. Did I have nightmares or freaked out or what? After having the encounter in the daytime, and then going back the next day and having another one, and then another one. 3 days in a row. So there
well,
had to
something
be.
like that, you would have. I think something like that's so,
I did. I did wake up screaming one
I,
night. I did. I did. I did wake
see,
up screaming, having a nightmare. Right? What? No.
but then you hear, some people see a dog, man, and then they have a encounter, and it's like they have nightmares every night for months,
Yeah.
you
No.
know,
It wasn't like that.
and that you're right, and it's just like, constantly being uh haunted like that, it, I mean, how did those dreams become there, take over them like that over and over again. It's just
Yeah.
bizarre.
That's like playing on your worst fear, and that the record stuck,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I've had reoccurring dreams before, but nothing, no nightmares ever. I don't care what I listen to. I don't care what happens.
Right.
Or whatever. I mean, experiences you have. I mean, even though those last two, I slept like a baby. you know. Yeah, it never affects me. Never bothers me.
That's good. That's good.
And a friend of mine, she's like, well, I haven't been in contact with you for a while because I thought you needed time to heal. And it's like, no, no, I didn't need any time to heal. I appreciated it, I thanked
Right.
them for it, but just a whole new different mindset going on at the moment. You just you don't you don't you don't hang on to energy like that. You don't hang on to that fear. You don't hang on to it. Or whatever, the anxiety, whatever it was. It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, there's times it might play back in your head a little bit. It's just like wow, but it's pretty much done with. It just it, and it's just a different type of. How do you want to put it? Is I don't know how to explain it. You just
Right.
you just let it go. You just let the experience go or whatever. You just. I mean, after that one at the creek, what do? I drive down the road. I go to another, area, the Radley Creek, and it's like a fishery, state fishery area. It's like I want to see if I hear that again. You know what I mean? It was just it didn't take long to forget about the first freak out session,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just yeah, I don't know. You think most people would be like, oh, I am not going in the forest for 2 more weeks, I mean, it's happened. That happened where I wouldn't go back to that when with my first encounter um, in the state forest, southern region. I wouldn't go to that area for 2 months, But now it's just like, um, no, it's you carry just a different state of mind after a while, you know. Um,
Right.
it's not you don't carry it as a negative experience. It's more of a uh I don't know, just a it's not both. It's not negative, but yet it's not positive. It's in between. It's just you know you just you just carry on. I mean, I think I don't know. I don't know if it would take something like a bluff charge or something else, but to experience that where you're just a wreck for months, you know what I mean? Or like my friend, she was a wreck for 30 years after her encounter when she was 16. You tops off a Jeep and you're in the back seat and here comes this, you know, this huge Squatch just just roaring away and um, right there ready to snatch as the guy's driving off, he's trying to get up to speed and it's right there, but yeah, it took her 30 years to go back in the woods. But yeah, I, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you know, and it's not whatever you experience. It's not stopping you from going back, you know, time and time again. It's almost like a drug after a while, eh? So, well, what do you think? Wrap it up, Tom? Oh, you're frozen, dude. Lost you for a minute there, eh? What the heck, dude? All right, Tom, I'm out.